Send me a co-host invite, Andrew.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in this evening. My name is Darce. As some of you may already know, I am Cap MMA's virtual assistant. Our hosts are currently sending out invitations as our team gathers. During this time, feel free to submit your mic requests and send out invites of your own. Once the guys get back in screen, they'll get you approved. Tonight's feature is the On Topic MMA show, a space for discussing mixed martial arts' most recent headlines and controversies. We'll open up looking back at UFC Mexico City Moreno vs. Royval and the PFL vs. Bellator Champs card for about 25 minutes. Then it's recent fight and card announcements for another 20 to 30 minutes. After that, the guys will discuss about a dozen hot topics pertaining to the past week or so in MMA, followed by some pressure points. These are discussions about recent headlines and news that affect MMA on a larger scale. Remember, the entire space is open mic by system of raised hands. We encourage everyone to have a voice. Thank you for your patience while we finish setting up. Tonight's space is expected to run 120 minutes. This show is presented by CapMMA.com, the best place to get MMA moneyline odds.
What's happening, everyone? I don't know who Andrew. Oh, Andrew didn't approve any of them joints yet.
Yeah, I like to wait until you finish that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I got a question for you, though. Just one question.
What you got?
Did you name him after the choke, my man?
Yeah, bro.
Let's go.
Let's go. Good evening, Jen.
What's happening, Daniel? Yeah, 100%. He is named after the choke. The other one that I had, when I started with a chick's voice and I named her Kimura, and then I didn't like her voice, the way it would play out, like the way it would pronounce shit. So I switched over to that and went with Darce. What's happening, Zabets, Cade, Daniel, Dead Picks? What's happening, gents?
Doing good. Watching the new FX show, Shogun.
Never heard of it, but what's good?
What's happening? So I gotta get a couple things real quick set up. There might be a little static for a second. Now I'll mute out.
No, you're still a better father.
Are we seriously going to start already with this?
Start what?
You already know.
All right, what we got going here? I don't know if Trace is getting in here tonight. You know, I didn't send him an invite because.
Wait a second. Can I ask you a question, Daniel?
Sure.
Never mind. Maybe we shouldn't get into that.
Is it going to be a rabbit hole? Don't do that shit in here.
No, I just wanted to ask, like, what is it about, like, bringing up somebody you don't even know about being, like, a deadbeat father? Like, I don't know, man.
It's simple. I know a deadbeat father when I see one. Trust me when I say Joe's not that guy. He's a superior. He's better.
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes for the show, it would just be great if we just cut back on that because, like, it gets annoying, brother.
Okay, see, if you ask me to stop it, I'll stop. I listen, unlike other people.
Man,
Dead
I'm waiting
Picks,
for
I just wanted to
get in
say,
here.
I just wanted to tell Dead Picks that I'm proud of him because I can tell he actually put some work into wording that the proper way because he doesn't have a filter. So I'm proud of you, bro. Good job, man.
Yeah, nothing wrong
for
with
the brand.
saying feel
No,
if you're not
thank you.
a dick. Nothing wrong with that. Man, I wanted Connor J to get in here early before we get going. It always takes everybody a few minutes, and then I pass some of these little topics. But Dana White is finally talking about Tom Aspinall getting a title shot, winner of Stipe versus John.
Finally.
Man, yeah, it's finally
Wait,
coming
say
out
that
of his
again.
mouth. Dana White is finally acknowledging Tom Aspinall for the winner of John versus Stipe. He spun it a little bit and he said it's a courtesy to allow them to extend their legacy. Whatever the fuck. But he's finally talking about it. I mean, that didn't even seem to be a conversation he would ever have. So I don't know. I think that's big. At least for Tom Aspinall, it is. He needs to go out there and get a W, a real convincing W right now.
You said
100%.
John Jones versus Ngannou.
Did I say that? I should have said Stipe.
He said Stipe.
Yeah, you did. My fault. I'm wearing it wrong. My fault.
Bro, hey,
Oh,
I wanted to say, Joe, is this on the table for tonight to talk about? Because I want to talk about this. Did you see that whack ass shit the PFL did with bringing John up and then like
hell yeah,
talking
bro.
shit?
I did.
Hell yeah, I seen that, bro. And it
That
was
shit was whack,
fucking
bro.
lame.
And you know how it's whack? It's whack because nobody in the MMA community, even worth a shit, even acknowledged that whack ass shit.
It's
Yeah,
still
Wait,
so
pretty
Joe, how did you
funny.
watch it?
what's that?
I thought you don't watch PFL.
I didn't. I've actually watched all of the footage of John Jones. I haven't. I haven't watched any of the fights.
He
Probably
wasn't
I
got a
watching
watched.
bag
PFL.
for
He
it
was
though.
watching Bellator.
I watched. I watched Ryan Bader get knocked out in a slow motion video on Twitter.
Man, that was some shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. I was heartbroken.
I
So
tried telling you guys Ferrer's next up.
yeah, I can't. You know what kills me, man, is they're really trying to pin John to. I was gonna play the sound clip, except for I don't want to. I think ESPN would flag us. But on the broadcast, bro, they bring John up. He's being polite, interviewing. He politely picks Anthony Josh, and he wasn't being a hater on Francis. Um, and they like 2, 3 times tried to pin him into saying he wanted to cross promote or saying he wanted to fight Francis. And John was even very polite. They said, isn't it a mega fight you got to do? He said, I think me versus Tom is a big fight. I think me versus Francis is a big fight. And for the hardcore fans, I think me versus Stipe is a big fight. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like PFL is trying to get something out of John. They're really not. And like, I know John gets a lot of hate, and I'm a mark, and John is an asshole, but like, to just the typical person that he doesn't know, John is loved by everybody, bro. You actually never hear anybody that's not one of his rivals say a bad thing about him, ever. You never hear it. You can find some old email where he wouldn't take a short notice fight and Dana White called him a piece of shit or something, but like there's no place. Fedor was excited to see him. I seen that in the video. Francis, they spun it where PFL keeps showing this clip of where like Mike Tyson and Francis look like they're kind of giving John the snub, but Francis approached John first. He walked up smiling to John. Like everybody just seems to love him, except Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is looking at John Jones like he is the fucking enemy.
You forgot women too, bro.
um, Mike Tyson is training Francis, and I feel like if you know anything about Mike's story and him and Cuss and him being Cuss's last on into boxing, I feel like Mike might have an attachment to Francis to prove that he can take what Cuss taught him and coach a world champion. And I really think Mike does not like John because of that, but only because of that shit. Yeah, I just do. Zah, go ahead.
I got a question, but first I gotta say you can't hate on greatness, so it's kind of hard to hate on John Jones. And then my question is, how much you think he got paid for that little stunt for the interview?
Honestly, John probably just did it. But the PFL or the people in Riyadh flew him out. So here, I was only doing the little notes that I had on John because Cade brought it up. But here, John's like number 4 on the list today. We'll do that before we review the cards. Um, so John was training in Thailand, teaching at one of the schools, bro. Like he was getting big love from all the students. He sparred with Superban, if you guys know who that is, a famous Muay Thai guy. Then he made a post that he was catching the red eye to Saudi Arabia. That is the PFL Bellator card. And then I had wrote up about how they tried to bait him and rebait him. And John was super respectful, bro. But like, I'll be honest, it makes the PFL Bellator broadcast look very thirsty, man. Like it makes them, it discredits them. Stop hunting that man. Stop hunting his fame and stop hunting it. You have Francis fucking Ngannou. Promote that guy. I feel like John Jones got more cred from the PFL than Francis Ngannou did in that production. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know how they were talking about him during other parts, Francis during other parts, but bro, it feels like they were giving John the rub when they should have just made John not a big deal on their broadcast. Like, oh yeah, we got Mike, we got John, it should have been not a big deal. I don't know. I just feel like they really did themselves a disservice. Connor J, I'm going to move on to the review, but real quick, I had it marked as the double O topic. I just want you to know that John Jones has finally acknowledged Tom Aspinall as an opponent, and Dana White, in a separate interview, has also acknowledged Aspinall as a potential opponent for the winner of John Jones versus Stipe if they do not retire. He spun it to say, you got to let them extend their legacy, but I know you'd want to hear that one before we get moving. Go ahead, bud.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's cool. I mean, you and I differ on this. I think that Tom should be next, not Stipe. But if John sticks around and fights Tom next, assuming that he beats Stipe, that's cool too. But yeah, get Stipe out of here. He does not deserve it. But that's just me.
Bro, you know what I'm hoping just for you, Connor? I'm hoping there's like some crazy eye poke or something that stops the fight with John and Stipe, and then they have to rematch it, and then it just gets drawn out that much further. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, Andrew, pray I don't see you in real life. Why would you put that in the air? Why would you put that in the air?
Don't you put that shit on me, Ricky Bobby.
Remember, this is recorded. You can use that in court.
Yeah. So what I will say to you before I throw it over to Better, Connor, is that what you're missing there is that John Jones and Dana White acknowledged Tom Aspinall as a rightful fight to John Jones. And if Stipe does not come back, he will likely be who that reverts to. So for your I don't know, your campaign there, it's big news for you, bro. Better times, go ahead.
Yeah. Like I hope that doesn't happen. 'Cause unless John Jones plans on staying for a long time and just reigning over that division, I really hope they just retire. Like John Jones, Stipe, let that fight happen. I think that's a really good fight, and let Tom Aspinall be the new champion of this new era of heavyweights. Cause
Well,
well,
I
yeah,
agree. I agree, bro. And here's why. Because John Jones is going to retire in his next couple fights anyway. I do think Tom could reign as a very successful, maybe even rival Stipe's reign at heavyweight in this heavyweight division. Like
he
with,
will, but
but
not if John Jones stays.
well, and
Jones will beat
why?
him.
Even if not, why would you risk letting him have a loss to John Jones before John retires? Because now he's out of the GOAT talk in 5 years. It'll be it'll it'll be what Floyd Mayweather did to everybody. Nobody gets to be the GOAT because Floyd beat them all. Because before he left, he made sure to slip every fucking one of them. And none of them, they can all claim, oh, I'm the GOAT, I'm the GOAT, I'm the GOAT. And then someone goes, but Floyd, and the conversation stops. Do not let John Jones, Floyd Mayweather, the heavyweight division. That is what I would say. Connor.
Just two things. I don't think that Stipe and John is a good fight. I think that fight is so far past its prime that it's pretty much useless. It's not even being marketed as a good fight. It's GOAT versus heavyweight GOAT, and that's what the UFC is selling. And two, I disagree with the premise that like if Tom loses to John, then he's out of the GOAT debate, purely because there is nothing that Tom could do from here on out that would ever put him even close to John Jones. Because that means that he would have to be close to John now. John is
No,
so
you're
far ahead of
wrong.
everybody.
You're wrong
What
because he could make a run at Stipe's heavyweight GOAT.
that Stipe is not close to John either.
But it
Stipe is
doesn't
not even
matter.
close
So
to John.
you can't put Tom. So you're giving Tom an impossible measuring stick. That's not fair. Don't do that to Tom. Give
No.
Tom.
I'm speaking to John's greatness. I'm speaking to how great John is. That if Tom could rattle off, like, how old is Tom? Tom's like 30 something, isn't
He's
he?
30.
Yeah.
30. Okay, he's not gonna rattle off as many title defenses as John has, and that's really, at least in my mind, how dominant of a champion that John is. That's what makes him the GOAT. He beat all these former champions. He beat the old gen, the current gen, like in Gus and whatnot, and then the new gen with like Dominic Reyes. Like he beat and like Cyril Gahn. He's the greatest with a bullet, and nothing that Tom could do. But like, what could Tom do at
If
heavyweight that would
I'm
even make him
if I'm
close?
Tom, I want to fight John Jones because if
Yes,
Tom put
one
one
hundred
on
percent,
John's chin
100%.
and was the first one to do John like that, then he
They'll
will
say
always.
John Jones was old and fat, and they'll discredit Tom anyways.
But
What? So, but
even if he loses to John Jones, bro, it's not gonna really matter. He's already 30. He can't catch John anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I still think for his hype accolations and his, or I don't know if that was the appropriate word there, but for his future ability to make money and actually be a guy who can sell 1 million pay-per-views, losing to John Jones won't get him there. I'm gonna lap this because we're 18 minutes in, and we're gonna do a couple quick card reviews because they're very relevant.
Joe, I'm sorry to interrupt you, dude. We have a fucking guest in the house.
Who we got?
Bro, we have the
Marin?
return
Marin?
of the one and only, baby.
What's happening, Marin?
Marin, what's up, bro?
It's not connecting. He left as soon as we called him out. He quit. He doesn't want to do it no more.
Get the
Hopefully it'll connect him in a minute here. All right. So as soon as he gets on the mic, let me know he's on the mic and I'll shut up. But until then, UFC Mexico City and PFL versus Bellator. I'm not going to hit either one of them really, really hard. So I didn't let him on the mic. Okay, I'm not going to hit either one of them really, really hard, but the matchups are relevant, especially so Royval Moreno, split decision. Listen, I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to skip to these fights, and I'm going to say that the Alta Moreno decision, the the Paul East decision, I believe it was, the Aguilar decision, and the main event decision were all super fishy. I clipped all of them and was going to make a thread. And I just felt like so many people had already done it. I try not to be too trolly with too much stuff. But I clicked them and I was going to make a thread about it. Like, I was actually going to make a thread about every shitty split decision since the beginning of the year and repost it every fucking week. And I may still talk to Usman about doing that. But whether I'm not trying to argue the side, I just think they were all super fishy. Every one of them had a slight extension for fucking scorecards to be counted. There were comments about the scorecards needing to be tallied. Man, I have never in my life watched a UFC card and felt the way I felt about the card at the end due to the way fights were awarded. Never in all of my UFC time and all of the cards that I have watched, I have never at the end been like, man, really? I went back to see which judges were involved. I'm not going to call them out, but if you go look at the scorecards, UFC.com/scorecards, you can't find it on Google, but just type that in and then click the article. There's one judge that was in every one of them fights. And he has the controversial card in most of them. I'll leave it at that. And man, I don't know. I've never felt that way before. I've seen better times first. Go ahead, bud. Any one of these fights or that subject.
Yeah, actually, I made money off of all those fight cards. Look, um, here's what I saw in the Aguilar versus Mendonce fight. Aguilar ended the first and second round, super fucking good. He got on top and just started beating on him. That won him the round. Like, it's all about damage over control time. So the third round, he clearly lost. And I was able to take advantage of that anyway, because you could hear the commentators saying that, oh, this fight is close. That fight was not close. Aguilar won clearly. Round 1, round 2, lost round 3. The Dos Santos fight versus Altamirano, everyone flipped it and thought Altamirano was going to win, but he didn't do the damage. Like, he had a couple takedowns at the end, but he clearly won the first round, lost the second round due to damage, and he clearly lost the third round. And I made money off that fight too. That was an awesome line. And what's the other one? The Moreno versus Royval. You can kind of make a case for Brandon Moreno because he was landing some really good shots. But towards the end, he was just being outworked. Like, all those good shots were at the beginning of that last round.
Listen,
Royval
I'm
just
not
turned it up and
just so you
outpointed him.
know, I'm not arguing either side of them cards. What I'm saying is all four of them were very questionable. Go back and watch it because I give you my word. I've watched the
What was
hand.
the fourth
I've
one?
watched the official decision and the 4 minutes before all of them at least 4 or 5 times each. Every one of them have a hard time tallying the cards. Every time the commentators are trying to stall for how long it's taking. Like, it's very clear to me that something, maybe someone was inexperienced that was tallying the cards. I mean, I don't know how fucking hard it is to tally the cards. You add up the numbers and then you circle the
Yeah.
sides. Like, how fucking long does it take?
Here's the thing that I have a homeboy that I be live betting with, and we both make money every fucking week. He had an idea that I think is fucking brilliant. We take note of the judges and note how they score the round and keep a log of it, so that way in future fights we know what they're looking for, and it'll help us during the live bets.
Yeah, I know how to do that with certain judges. Like, here, I'll do you a real favor. I'm not fucking with you. If Sal D'Amato is a judge, just DM me. What did he score it? I'll tell you live. I'll tell you live how Sal D'Amato scores that round. 99% of the time, because it's how he scores it. It's how I score it. 99% of the time. I hate when I disagree with Sal because I call him the fucking gold standard. But 99% of the time, I scored exactly the way Sal D'Amato scores it.
Dude, you're totally right. Sal D'Amato is one of the best one of the best judges I've ever seen, because I keep track of how he does it. He does it by the book
Fuck yeah,
for
he
the most
does it.
part.
For the old book, the 5 year ago book, he does it by the book before the update. Cade, go ahead. I don't know the order that it went in. I just see them here side by side. Cade, then Zah, then Daniel.
I just want to say the Felipe fight with I just felt like he did more damage. That's all it was. Like, but could have went either way. But the Moreno fight is the one that I wanted to touch on real quick. I felt like I know what you're talking about with the fishy scorecard thing. It just took him a minute. Kind of looked a little weird, but I'm not gonna lie, man. I really liked Moreno in that fight beforehand, but I felt after the fight, they got it right. I think Royval won the fight. Like I felt Moreno was very, very fucking sloppy that fight. Like, how many fucking overhand hooks are you gonna throw that aren't even close? Like, I don't know. I just felt like Royval did more to win the fight. So I feel like they got it right, but I understand what you're saying.
I just want to tell you guys, all three judges gave Brandon the 5th round.
Wait, what? Seriously? Brandon
Yeah.
Moreno or
Which
Roval?
Yeah,
Brandon?
Moreno.
Okay,
All three judges gave Moreno the 5th round.
Yeah,
okay. Now
somehow I
that's
felt like they got
fishy.
it right, but I don't. That fifth round was
All three judges gave.
That is okay. Now that's super fishy. Because what rounds did they give Royval?
Um. So
well,
Mike.
one could have went
So
either way if I remember correctly, right?
so Mike Bell gave Moreno rounds 1 and 5. Um. I can't say his name, but the K. His name is Kemgio. He gave Moreno the first 3, which is what I think Moreno won. If you're gonna side it for Moreno, those are the 3 that I think he won. And I don't care that he lost it, but if you were gonna side it for him, and then Chris Lee gave him 3 and 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, Camijo gave him the first 3 and 5. Gave it to him 4-1.
The
Gave it to
fuck,
Moreno 4-1 or Royval?
Royval?
Moreno 4-1.
Wait,
He gave
Nah, I felt like it
Moreno.
was 3-2.
Bro,
I'm
I'm
so
looking at the
confused.
scorecard right now.
No,
He
no, no.
gave
I know. I'm
Moreno.
not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm like, nah. I would say that like 4-1 is outrageous.
That is, yeah. Because in my eyes, Brandon Moreno won the first 2. Royval won 4 and 5. That third round was super close.
Yeah. I don't know. What was one of the other ones there? Let me scroll up. Aguilar, Mike Bell was on that fight. What was the other one there? Paulese, Mike Bell was on that fight. And was the odd card. Let me back that up for you. Mike Bell was not the odd card on the Aguilar fight, but he was still part of it. And Mike Bell was also on the Alta Moreno fight. I'm actually starting to do a little piece of going back to write down judges on every single split decision this year. And I want to see who is who. Zod, you had your hand up and put it down. Did you want to get it before I pass it over, bro?
Yeah, you can pass me like a blunt.
All right, bud. Daniel, and then just Daniel. Go ahead.
Yeah, like the Royval fight, man, I'm just so happy that both him and Ortega got their revenge after coming off their first bout with both their adversaries from a shoulder injury. I was just my favorite part of that fight was the leg kicks, and he really put the grind on Moreno in the later rounds. So I had no doubt that split decision would go to him because he did lay it on him in the later rounds. So now they're all even plus Ortega.
Connor J.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the main event because I know it was pretty close. I actually had it. I don't remember. I know I gave rounds 4 and 5 to Royval. I might have even given round 3 just because I don't like remember specifics, but that's where I thought that Royval started to put his combinations together and start throwing more activity. Rounds 1 was even close too because at the beginning of the round, that was like Herb Dean telling them to like be active and uh, there wasn't a lot of action in the beginning. So that one was close. But I think I gave rounds 1 and 2 to Moreno. But yeah, 4-1 for Moreno is damn near like a travesty. That is no. I think 3-2 him is passable, but I think they got it right with Royval. I think that he was just too active. Not that like a lot of his shots were hurting him, but he was putting it on Moreno. And Moreno, like Kate said, too many overhands. He wasn't boxing like he did against Pantoja. And yeah, he just seemed kind of lackadaisical in there.
Yeah,
He was starting to get leg kicked too.
I got no issue with the side. I got issues with the way the decisions went down. Usman, close this little one out. I'll hit a few more fights on this card and we'll do Bellator.
Yeah, no, I always say Junichiro Kamijo is the worst judge for me. And really opened my eyes for that when he gave the fifth round in one of those Figgy fights to Moreno, where it was very, very obvious that Moreno did not win that round. And I was laughing because I gave it to Moreno 3-2 with those first three rounds going to Moreno, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and 5 going to Roy Val. Now, the only extra shitty part about that is that all three judges gave Moreno the fifth round, so I don't even know what the fuck to think about that. But really ashamed of myself that I got a close scorecard to Junichiro.
We got to go back to season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter. Those words right on top of the wall. Never leave it in the hands of the judges. This happens all the time, and it always this is a big reason why obviously I love sports, but it's like one of the really big downfalls that comes with sports is no matter what sport you watch, and I'm not even saying people are always wrong, but people are so quick to blame judges or referees or umpires or officials, whatever the hell you want to call them. And it's so annoying. Like, we cannot watch one fight or one game or one match without something involving referees or officials. You know what I mean? It's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, and this is going to be the never ending complaint. Fight of the night was Zalhuber Prado. Great fight. Performance of the night went to Ortega and Manuel Torres. If anybody's got anything to say about those fights, get your hand up now. From there, Kate, go ahead.
I just want to say I believed in T City, man. That dude is just got heart, man. Like when he was standing there, bro, and Bruce announced his name and I saw him roll his ankle, I looked over at my dad and I was like, no, the fuck he did not just do that. I've seen this story before. But hey, man, he pushed through it, bro, and it was a good victory, bro. It was T City style, baby.
Yeah, I got no issues with Ortega, and I wasn't on him for that fight, but I wasn't like particularly against him either. I got no issues with it. I'm plenty
I
happy
thought
for the
Yair
guy.
would win the fight, but dude, Ortega looked good. I won't lie, for being out 2 years, shoulder surgeries and all that shit, and then like looking like shit on the scale. Like, I don't know, man. He just surprised me.
Dude, Yair would have won the fight if he didn't have poor fight IQ.
Yeah,
He
he's just dumb as fuck.
he gave the fight away. And don't get me wrong, I give Ortega all the fucking credit in the world. Like you said, he rolled his fucking ankle. Dude gets dropped and he's about to get finished. And instead of Yair going, hey, come back up, I want to fucking knock you down again, he goes, no, I'm going to go down here with the fucking slickest BJJ guy in the UFC. And then what happened like 30 seconds later? Reversal. And then it was all downhill from there. Ortega got his confidence up. He got his head back because he had time to recover, and it was all over from there. So yeah, he got a gift, but he took advantage of it, as any fucking pro athlete should. Connor, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, just to touch on what you guys said, I remember on the space on Friday when y'all were picking, and I was at work, I was thumbs downing and doing the sad face. That's because I didn't really think that Brian was going to win, but Brian's one of my favorite fighters. I thought he had a chance if it sort of worked out, if he could implement his grappling, which he did. But yeah, I think this was an uphill battle for him, and then on top of that, like Cade said, he like rolled his ankle, jumping up and down, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, like Andrew said, him and I have talked about this on Spaces before and whatnot. When guys get dropped and then they just follow them into their guard instead of asking the ref to stand them back up, it seems like such a simple thing to do, especially when you have such an advantage on the feet. I don't know why fighters don't do it, but yeah, he gave him a gift in that sense. But after that, that was in round 1. In round 2 and 3, he took him down. I know Yair's not the best wrestler and whatnot, but he still had to. Because, like, Brian will sometimes just engage in a brawl. We all know how tough he is. We know how good of a chin he's got. But in instances like this where he has the better grappling and he decides to utilize it, that was just really cool to see. Then he went back to his roots and was able to pull off a really great victory.
I'll say
So,
Ortega's
shout out to
striking
Brian.
did look good, Connor. Like, it didn't look bad.
It didn't look bad, but it did seem. I don't know how long he would have lasted against Yair if he just decided to keep it standing.
It didn't
And
seem
he was taking takedowns and doing trips. So yeah,
it didn't seem as good as it did against the Korean Zombie. Oh, what a surprise!
Dude, and that's
To
what I
throw it
was gonna
out
say
there,
real quick is Ortega just he hasn't gotten better in my opinion. Like he's the same fucking fighter that he was 4 years ago when he fought the Korean Zombie. He hasn't improved. I disagree. I don't think his striking looked all that.
I can agree with you. I actually can agree with you with that real quick. I know you have your hand up, Dan. I just want to say to Andrew real quick, like I can actually agree with that, Andrew. I don't think that he's improved much either, but I do feel that like if he has improved somewhere, it's like I know he went through a tough time this last year, but I would say like mentally, like everything he's overcome mentally and still like I think that's where he's improved. But as far as like striking and jiu-jitsu and his wrestling and everything, I can agree with you. I don't see a big change in what I saw 2 years ago or 3 years ago whenever the Volk fight happened or when he fought Zombie or whatever.
Very good point, Cade. That's actually a great point. Way to bring that up. I like that.
all
Daniel.
right, guys. Well, hold on. We're 20 minutes into the UFC stuff here. I'm gonna let Daniel get the mic in a second here, and then I'll give it to Connor. But I do have stuff I like to cover in here. We are trying to gear towards production, so the UFC rankings are actually how I typically review the card. So Brandon Royval is now number 1 at flyweight. Moreno is now number 2, and Amir Albazi is number 3. Below that, fights we've already talked about. Brian Ortega has moved up to number 4 at featherweight, or number 3 at featherweight, and Yair has dropped down to number 4. What a weird fucking division. Taporia, Volkanovski, Holloway, like if you fight 1, 2, like fuck, man, them guys gotta go. I hope Max stays at 155 and tells them to take him out of those rankings. Any other ranking movement that happened? That's it. That's all that happened. Wow, that's all the UFC had. Hold on one second, Daniel. I'm gonna shout out these other fights on this card so we can be done with the UFC side, and then you can say whatever you wanted. We mentioned Zal Huber got fight of the night. That was a decision. Yasmin beat Sam Hughes. That was a unanimous decision. Shame on anybody who took Sam Hughes. Shame on you guys. Barcelos beat Barcelos got Quinones in the rear naked choke. Fought good cap. I thought Quinones would beat him, but I wasn't on that fight anyway. But yeah, I thought Quinones would beat him. And then Bondar got RNC'd by Rodriguez, and that night opened with a beautiful. I say beautiful. I was being smartass with a, I guess, not peculiar leg injury that was not peculiar on a card with 4 really weird decisions. I guess in retrospect, it wasn't very peculiar. Anyways, Daniel, go ahead.
Well, I disagree on with Brian Ortega. I mean, I knew he always had the superior jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's Yahir's fault that he went into his guard like that. I mean, has his striking improved? Honestly, I don't care. He's not in his striking. His key is his jiu-jitsu. It's always been his jiu-jitsu. As for the
No,
naive
Daniel.
versus
No, bro. No. It was made obvious during the Max Holloway fight that Brian Ortega had no striking, and his takedowns and his jiu-jitsu was not enough to carry him. He got absolutely fucking embarrassed. The only thing that matters when you watch Brian Ortega fight at this point is how well he can strike so that he can't get his takedown stuff and get his fucking ass beat. Yeah, it's very, very relevant when you talk about Brian Ortega to talk about where his striking is, brother. Very relevant. And his jiu-jitsu is great, but it's not enough to always get him the fight, man. Like, yeah, I'm not going at you. I feel pretty strongly about that. Go ahead.
okay, then I apologize for that. As for Max Holloway, I said before and I'll say again, I cannot wait for Justin Gaethje to either take his head off or take his legs out. I don't care if y'all hate me. I want Justin Gaethje to win.
Yeah, we all do in here, bro. Every one of us. Connor J, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to touch on the Brian not improving. I think from it was the Max Holloway fight to the Zombie fight. I thought he looked better, but I guess Zombie uh, is kind of who he was, so he came in more improved. But Zombie is maybe not the top of the notch, especially at that time. But it's hard to tell whether or not he's gotten better when he takes these long layoffs, and then in between those long layoffs, he fights Volkanovski, and it's like hard to look good against a guy like Volk. Um, so yeah, but I don't think he has. One of the things that he probably should work on is sort of like a Mackenzie Dern. Like he's better than Dern, but he needs a way to get his opponents to the ground because his striking's not great. He's not going to beat a lot of dudes on the feet, and if he can't take you down, then his best game is like it's neutralized. He's not going to be able to win.
All right, I'm calling it quits on this card. I think we talked about 3 of the fights or something. All right, Bellator versus PFL. We actually ran the whole time up on the UFC card. I'll have to readjust the show for that a little bit, probably, if we're gonna do these at all. Um, I don't know. I missed Sunday, so I didn't know what they covered. So I just wanted to hit these. PFL versus Bellator. So it was a Bellator champion sweep, except for the main, right?
Yes,
It
literally,
was.
the main event was the only Bellator win. I mean, the only PFL win.
Yeah.
There
So
were only
like
like 3 belts, like 3 or 4, because the first 2 fights didn't have them.
four
Plus the
belts.
one for
Four
Jason
belts.
Jackson. The other guy was injured
So
on
it was
the same
4
day.
belts. It was 4 belts.
Yeah, because
It was
Clay Collard and AJ McKee fought first. They didn't fight for a belt.
no
And then the second fight, I don't remember who it was, but they didn't fight.
Yoel Romero, Diego
Yeah,
Santos. Now I
yeah,
know
the
why
2
you
old
don't
guys.
remember. Aaron Pico beat Henry Corrales, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
viciously.
Clarissa Shields won though, so that works out for them, I
Hmm.
guess.
Shout out Detroit.
Um, yeah, I don't know, man. So there's not a whole ton to talk about. It wasn't like a big deal to get to it, but I will say that Renan Fierre now has a chance to make an enormous splash in heavyweight MMA, and I'm also gonna say this: if he if he gets that belt, he leaves the PFL and goes to the UFC anyway. Sorry. If he fucking beats Francis and fucking puts Francis out. I had this in the fight announcement stuff. Did you have this in the fight announcement stuff, Andrew, or no?
No, but
All right. So it's
if
official.
hold on, if you've watched Henin is a good striker because he's got a lot of power and he's fucking huge, but he has no ground game, like zero. I'm telling you, like if he gets taken to the ground, he panics. He's got no ground game. So if he faces a grappler who can get him down, he's done, bro. Like he's a striker, purely striker. So if you match make him correctly, yeah, he can make some noise. But you can definitely
bro.
go
So
now.
this is like official. Like you can basically, I mean, I feel like I can literally fucking announce it. So, here, let me get my bookmarks. I wasn't quite there yet, but here, give me 10 seconds here. I'm gonna get my bookmarks. So, let me see if it'll let me share them to the space. If not, I'll throw them in the comments real quick. A lot of times, it does not let me. Yeah, even though I have the space open, it's so fucking weird that it doesn't let me share them. What if I do it in the same window that I have the space open in? I wonder. Okay. No, I think it's. Yeah, it was there 2 weeks ago. I don't know. All right. Copy link. In the comments here is. So that's the knockout of Bader. I have that bookmarked. Then for this card, I have where the PFL, Bellator, whoever it is, posted that the winner of this fight will fight Francis Ngannou. So it's like not official, like it's signed, but it's official, like the PFL says he is fighting Francis Ngannou next. Yeah. I mean, if he knocks Francis Ngannou out, he makes a enormous splash in MMA heavyweight.
He's not
And
knocking anyone out. He's just going to collect a nice paycheck.
well, and I mean, and that's, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I'm just saying they have a lot of money invested in Francis Ngannou. If this guy knocks Francis out, that's shit for them. Connor J.
Yeah, I don't know the exact specifics between PFL acquiring Bellator, and why they don't like just fold Bellator and bring their fighters in. I'm sure there's
Because
reasons behind it, and I'm sure.
they can't fold Bellator and force the fighters to fight. The Bellator fighters get to leave if Bellator closes. In order to force all of the
Word. Okay.
Bellator fighters to fight underneath them, and this is a topic, I'll just hit it right now. I just noticed that all the Bellator stuff now says PFL presents, Professional Fight League presents Bellator Grand Prix. Professional Fight League presents, but they have to keep the Bellator name alive. That's why they outlined 8 cards a year for 2 years. That's 16 cards. They dropped a bunch of fighters, and that's how many cards they need to make all these guys fight out their contracts, which gives them as much time as they can possibly juice these guys for to try to get them to sign over to the PFL. That's why.
Right. And that makes sense. But I just don't really, after like seeing the Bellator fighters just really stomp the PFL fighters, and I don't know about anyone else, but I always thought that Bellator had the better roster, and they just kind of like proved that on like a small level.
So when Don
But
Davis
yeah,
acquired them, Don said that. When Ariel asked him why he bought them, he said, because it's a huge roster improvement. He said that. He did admit that, Connor, just so you know that. So it wasn't like PFL doesn't know that.
right. Well, and it's nice that he admits that, but that doesn't even. It's not a roster improvement if it's the brand is still split between them. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess like some of them maybe could fight in the PFL tournament or whatever. I could maybe I don't know, but like if they're separating it and Bellator fighters can still fight on Bellator events, and it's like you haven't like boosted your roster just because you house them like that you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't that Aaron Pico. Well, Aaron, I think he fought a Bellator fighter, but like AJ McKee just beat Clay Collar, who fought in their tournament finale, and he like dusted him in a minute. Like that doesn't make PFL look any better. Not that like a lot of like casual fans know what Bellator or PFL is, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really think it was all that great of a look for them.
Daniel.
On a side bookmark, Rising Star Muhammad Ali's grandson, Ali Walsh, he showcased all three aspects of MMA in his debut. He showcased striking, well, obviously from his boxing lineage. He showcased good ground game and won points. I mean, it was a beautiful unanimous decision. We got a rising star, and he is, the Muhammad Ali's grandson. I'm excited for this guy.
Spot on, buddy. I'm glad you brought that up. I couldn't have said it better, man.
Agreed.
And Fuego, what's up, bro?
Yeah, hey guys. Nice to hear from you on a Tuesday night. Hey Daniel, bro, I gotta disagree with you. I thought Ollie Walsh looked terrible. That guy can't move his head off the center line. I just kept saying to myself, the minute this guy faces any sort of competition, any competent striker in that promotion, he's gonna get knocked his ass out really quick. I mean, this guy was supposed to KO that dude in round 1 pretty easily, and he struggled, man. I don't know. Did we watch different fights?
Yo,
I'm
the
like,
kid,
sure.
he was
I too chose him to win by knockout round 1, but he still improved. Like, he took to the ground 3 times.
that kid was a 19-year-old.
This kid was a taxi cab driver.
I disagree, man. Look, he's a rising star. He won his fights fair and square. There was no controversial scoring.
All right. So
I'm just giving you a hard time, Daniel. I'm just playing around, man.
all right.
I hate trolls.
But I don't
Oh
know.
no, I'm not a troll, man.
He's definitely not a troll. He's got real sharp takes. I
Thank you,
enjoy
Joe.
He's a good father.
Listen here. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm capping this shit out because that's enough. It's Bellator. We spent 8 minutes on it. 25 on UFC. PFL was hardly mentioned in any of that. That all seems correct at this time at this period in time. So from there we will go to. Well, let's do fight announcements. Andrew, you got fight announcements?
I do, but I don't know if you ungrateful fucking PFL shit talkers deserve it, to be honest. I feel like I'm saying this every time PFL gets brought up, I say put some fucking respect on their name. And
All right,
everyone
here's what I'll
sit
tell
here
you.
and talk shit and laugh and make
How many
jokes.
PFL fights are you about to tell us about?
Dude, we could talk about every single one that I watched.
No. I'm talking about. I said you got fight announcements. Now you're mad at all the PFL haters. So in all of your fight announcement resource gathering today, how many PFL fights are you going to tell us about?
Dude, we only do fight announcements for the UFC. That's just what we do. Hey, if you want me to, I will gladly make that part of the segment. I can 100% do that.
I did today. I got them covered because they got a bunch going on and we kind of need to mention it. So, and I knew what you were at, and I knew you said you got held at work late at work today. So I just was like, once I seen
Yeah, if
that.
you want to drop those PFL ones quickly, we can do that.
So the PFL's got a bunch going on, actually. So the PFL announced the 2024 season. The regular season will start. Oh, Usman, check this out. And who else is in Texas? Bro, I checked their fucking website today. So the Professional Fight League playoffs, I don't know why it says playoffs because it's regular season. I don't know why it says playoffs, but that's the description on their website for tickets. I can send you the link. Heavyweights and women's flyweights, featuring several Bellator fighters, including Phil Davis, Clay Collard, and Patricky Fiore, will happen in San Antonio, Texas. Floor seats start between $90 and $155. If you ain't there on the floor, bro, I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, they're more
155.
expensive in Vegas. I've already looked them up.
Oh, when they're coming to Vegas, how much are they? Because they're going to do it during fight week.
Yeah, well, I'm talking even before that. So the regular season starts in April, and they've got an event in April in Vegas. If you get the uppers, they're like $45, but when you hit the lowers, they start at like 120, I think.
I mean, that's not that bad. Lower bowls are good seats, Andrew. You should go.
Those are
No, but
good
I'm saying
prices,
that's what the
man.
start
Those are
is, like back rows.
those are good prices.
Yeah, but I'm saying, even if it's 150, 160 bucks, Andrew, that's not that much. You'll really enjoy watching fights from that level, man. If you can get mid bowl, I'm not being a dick. You're short. I'm short, right? So if you can get mid bowl, I promise you, bro, you will be like, this was a good ass time. And it's not UFC money. You should do it. We're
Okay.
probably coming to fight week, and if they have a PFL card, bro, we're going. You should go.
Okay. So first of
And
all,
Andrew. Hey,
I'm not
Andrew.
short. I'm average. Thank you very much. I am 5'10". That is 1 inch above the American average.
Hey, Andrew, I'll tell you too. Sometimes it's better to be higher and pay less money too, because I was at an LFA event at some random crappy casino in Chandler, Arizona, and I was on the floor and I couldn't see very well because I was looking up to the cage, as
Yep.
opposed to a little bit higher and looking down on the cage. I kind of find the upper seats to be a little bit better for visual purposes.
If you can be 20 feet higher than the cage, it's fucking perfect. I promise. 20 feet higher than the cage, bro. I feel like it's perfect. You can see right in. What you miss is very minimal on the ground in the grappling angles. So, anyways, PFL has also announced April 12th regular season heavyweights and light heavyweights at the Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas, Nevada. Um, they also announced April 19th in welterweights and featherweights in Chicago. I did not look up those tickets for Dead, but I meant to. Oh, there are no ticket prices for that. I did look them up. There's no ticket prices for that yet. And then April 12th, and then April 19th. No, all right. Yeah, so that was a double no. I'm sorry. I just said those two fucking dates. I'm a dumbass reading what I wrote, not paying attention to it. And also, and they obviously have no fights announced on those cards.
Hey,
PFL,
Chicago ones, the Chicago cards. Are you coming down? Detroit, 6 hours?
no.
Why not? Come on, let's do this. Me and you, or whoever wants to come.
Bro, it's 4 hours to Chicago. I can get on a plane and go 4 hours to Vegas. If I'm traveling 4 hours, I promise you, I'm going where it's warm. I
But you get
promise.
an hour. You get an hour,
It's
dude.
it's
You,
warm
you,
now.
you get an hour when you go over there because the time changes. So we
Yeah, and
gain
not
one
only
hour.
that, but it's
3 hours.
man. I can do 4 hours in my sleep.
Cool, do it
Three
to
hours.
Vegas because you didn't show up to Vegas last year, you fucker. All right, PFL Europe has announced their regular season starting March 7th in France at the Accor Arena in Paris. The headline will be Cedric Doumbé versus Basin. I can't say the fucking guy's last name. I believe his last name is Shadorvanov. I
See,
really
like
can't
we
say.
watch tape so we can learn about fights. Joe needs to watch tape just to learn how to like say last names.
Bro, I watched the tape. I still can't say that shit. I don't want to, fucker.
This
you gotta
man's
like
been
you
around
gotta
the
like
UFC
sever
for
that.
fucking 30 years, man. If you thought he was
I
going to
can
learn
see
to
him.
spell names.
Andrew, I can see him at like one of the shows in Vegas, and he's like, I really like you, but I cannot say your fucking name at all.
Yo, I'd be straight up, bro. I'd be like, this is what I call you. This is what I call you. Anyways,
I love your nickname. I love your nickname, man.
they call it PFL Europe 1. That's March 7th. PFL Europe 8 is June 8th in England. Newcastle, Tyne and Wear, England at the Attilia, I don't know, some arena, man. And then
Is it the
PFL
beer?
3, which says it's the playoffs, is September 28th in Scotland at the OVO Hydro, Glasgow, Scotland. Obviously, those cards have no fights announced. And then we already talked about Francis, which I just, and I posted the tweets I had on that. So that laps that little one out there. That is my PFL stuff, Andrew. Oh, PFL. I think we've talked about their Belfast card, and I did touch. I noted that it is fully tagged with PFL everywhere on all the Bellator shit now. Their website, every graphic, it is everywhere. And Leah McCourt pulled out of the fight against Sydney Kavanaugh. She is still listed on the card, but as of right now, Sydney Kavanaugh has no opponent. Andrew, touch on any of that you want, bro, and then roll into your UFC stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the one thing that I really don't like about the PFL that I wish they would change is you mentioned PFL Europe. You can't watch that in America. Like they don't make it available.
You can now. You will be able to this year.
Oh, thank fucking God, man, because I'm sitting here like, bro, like I actually pay for ESPN Plus so I could watch a legit stream for
So
PFL.
I don't think it'll be on.
And you're telling me I can't watch PFL Europe? Come on, bro.
So I think it's going to be on YouTube.
Got you. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it makes fucking sense.
Usman, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, first off, I was gonna say I'm not trying to pay to go to that PFL San Antonio card because I'm gonna try to get credentials and be there to ask questions for Cap MMA. Second, was I the only one that smelled a little fishiness when it came to PFL versus Bellator? Like, we all knew that they were going to fucking sweep. They being
Oh, the
Bellator because
Bellator ass
there's
whooping was what you're talking about.
well, for one, I mean. Magomed Karamov, they've lifted this guy so high, and then I didn't see any reason why he pulled out. But then they gave him fucking Ray Cooper, who just got an ass whooping and for sure won't be able to fucking make any weight. That was an instant loss right there. They gave Vadim Nemkov, somebody that they definitely would want to push as a PFL athlete, um, the dude who hasn't fought in a year and in that last fight fucking was on PEDs, so he's definitely off the juice. The Johnny Eblin fight, I mean, that's a way to push a homeboy. And then fucking Bader folds to one punch. And he didn't even like he wasn't out
How did you
cold.
not know
He
that was going to happen though? Like
no,
Bader
but
is a
it's the way
bitch.
it happened. He
Dude,
folds
I
to
put a
one
hundred
punch
dollars on him
and
immediately
just
when I
fucking
saw him.
covers his face and did not try anything. Ref automatically jumps in. It was just
He's not no
real
heavyweight.
fucking lame.
Yeah,
He ain't no
Cooper
heavyweight.
Cooper
That's
uh
insane.
Cooper fought Jackson, bro.
Oh, I'm not doubting any of the Bellator's guys' skills. I like Jackson. I'm just saying the way that they set it up was like, yeah, fuck, we got this Magomed guy and we're gonna push it as you're gonna fight this guy, but last minute we're gonna pull him off and then fucking give you Ray Cooper who can't make weight and just took a beating like 3 months ago. And yeah, also with the fucking Clay Carter thing. Now Clay Carter took a loss in 1 minute so he can turn around and fight on this San Antonio card 2 months later.
Usman, imagine being Don Davis's $250 million investors watching Bellator sweep PFL, realizing they could have bought Bellator for about 60 million bucks.
They didn't sweep him, jerk.
Yeah, close enough, motherfucker.
Yeah, it definitely shows
Massacred,
that they made a good
massacred.
investment by buying Bellator.
They didn't though. They gave Bellator $400 million worth of fucking potential stock in their company or some shit. Not Bellator, Paramount, bro. If the company matures to what they want it to or whatever, Paramount will own like $400 million worth of their stock. So essentially, they partnered with Paramount and they don't want to admit it. They have
Right.
the option. They have the Paramount has the option to cash out later, stock option, right? But they don't have to.
Yeah, what are they going to
Yeah.
do when all their other cards don't sell in 2024?
What are they going to do when Paramount sells all their stock because Bellator is fucking over with and they don't have, bro, it's that shit is coming. They fucked themselves.
Yeah,
Andrew,
let
I
them
have
guys
to
talk. But hey, Joe, it would be great to kind of talk like, what in the hell is PFL and Bellator together's marketing plan for 2024? Because I think they just blew it all in one wad of the
No,
PFL
bro.
versus
So
Bellator?
Bellator is gonna do series, just like they always have, tournaments, leagues, same thing. That PFL is gonna do. So PFL actually also announced Mena. I'll talk about that later. Andrew, I'm not rubbing your shine. I'm not taking your shine. I do have to. This one it makes sense. So I put another tweet in the comments. PFL plans to put a card on during International Fight Week. It is the biggest miss that Bellator has missed for 12 years. Why are you not at UFC's Fight Week? If PFL's smart, there's going to be a free convention to meet all their fighters right by if they're fucking smart. So I hope that the Francis fight is on that card. It would be a massive move by PFL. And I would just like to go buy a ticket to it if I'm already going to be in Vegas and already doing fight week shit. I will go. I'm probably going to go to Power Slap if I can afford it and they have it that week. Like, I don't give a fuck. I want to, me, I want to go to everything that week. But it will take place June 24th through June 30th. It will be UFC 303 Hall of Fame ceremony, UFC X, and all of that. So I just kind of overlapped that one, Andrew, because it's a card announcement, and PFL is going to be there. So that's all I got, bro. That's on you now. Oh, you can throw the mics out if you want. My bad.
Yeah, we'll go to Daniel and then Fuego, and then no more hands because I'm doing fight announcements after. Daniel, go ahead.
It was because Magomed Kurmanov, he was injured on the week of the fight. That's why that title fight didn't take place. Ray Cooper was the replacement. It was supposed to be against Jason Jackson, but Magomed, he got injured. That's why.
And Fuego.
Yeah, real quick. Looking up and down that card, and after we watched what we watched, there's no doubt that 6 of those guys from Bellator could jump in the top 10 in the UFC right now, with a couple of them probably in the top 5. And you look up and down the PFL roster, shit, I'm not seeing one that's in the top 15, to be honest with you, except for maybe Impa, right? But
And
I think
Francis.
no, I'm talking on the fight card from Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I just think sometimes we overlook it a little bit that those Bellator guys are freaking super talented, man. Jason Jackson is an absolute beast.
We've been saying it for
Cap
years.
MMA. Cap MMA just has
The
never
Ultimate
overlooked
Fighter.
Bellator.
Yeah, I
Cap
mean
The Ultimate
MMA.
Fighter.
McKee and Nemkov are beasts. So
Yeah,
We
McKee
we are big
pisses me
fans of
off too much.
Bellator.
yeah,
I
they
get
just got to
We
get
mad
their
at him.
shine a little bit.
No, they're done. Bellator's closed, guys. Please understand. The PFL is using the name to hold fighters under contracts like hostage. Bellator's done, guys. It's over. It's already
Make
done.
that explicitly clear.
You may still see Bellator tournaments. Those are just Bellator tournaments and Bellator cards being ran by PFL. Bellator is gone. It is gone. Don Davis is literally just trying to create his own super titles and his own, like, bro, how fucking stupid is it that their whole broadcast was about crossover promotions? It's not a crossover
All right,
promotion at all.
Joe, I
It's
got
not at
one
all.
question then. I got one
Yeah.
question. So if they're gonna merge and we no longer have Bellator and now we only have PFL, who's gonna be the new that's gonna come in there as a big three aspect from two Michigan boys here? A big three. We got to get some new competition if Bellator and PFL are going to turn into the same team. Somebody's got to come
So
in
the
there and
Saudi
start giving
Arabia,
some.
Saudi Arabia next likely starts the next big MMA league. I don't know
It's a
what it'll
good
be
push.
called.
Quick answer.
Eagle FC revamped.
Yeah, well, no,
No,
they got to come up
no,
with
they
something
already
better.
have one. It's
Eagle
you
FC.
it's UEW or some shit or UE.
Yeah,
They already
they
have
don't have a
one.
good marketing team. I can tell you that.
No, so there hasn't been a ton of money put into it, but if I had to pick one that they'll probably put a ton of money into, it's them. And I promise you, Dana White has said out loud, the Saudis can do anything they want and nobody can stop them.
as
They
far
got
as
the money.
sports,
It's an
combat
easy
sports.
fucking
Yeah,
market.
yeah, bro, their fund was $400 billion. Like
It's an easy market. I mean, the
400
only thing that ever fucking like blows my
four
mind. I'm
hundred
an accountant.
billion dollars is their sports and entertainment.
As an accountant, I understand finances and shit. The craziest things that I can understand is how the fuck they can put on like Carnello things in boxing, pay him 50 fucking million, and still make some type of profit that's gigantic. Because the only people that put this stuff on are billionaires.
I don't think they're not making a profit.
They're not.
Well, they
No.
have to be under
No.
hidden fucking gems.
No,
Dude,
they're
they are
not.
not
So
being
like,
nice and being like,
no,
oh,
bro,
I just
they're
help
no,
out the little man.
they're not, bro. They have a sports and entertainment fund. It's basically a hedge fund for Saudi Arabia. And the fund makes an ass load of money. They are now being looked at like people are being like, "Whoa, what are they doing?" Because Blizzard is Microsoft's biggest game developer. I'm not going to get into all of that, but they make the biggest games that Xbox has. Well, if they're allowed to buy any more stock, they'll essentially own 51% of Blizzard. Um, and they are
I like
doing
their
this.
logo. It's
They're
really
doing
cool when
this
I
with
was a kid.
all types of companies. They're buying up all types of shit that makes tons and tons of money. These are the guys that bought the PGA. They opened their own golf tournament and they wanted to go to some PGA courses. And the PGA said, no, that's not how this works. These are PGA only courses. So they fucking bought the PGA. That's real. That happened. So for them to lose $50 million on
Oh,
Francis
yeah, and
Ngannou or
freaking
Canelo Alvarez, that's a night out for them, bro. four
well, yeah,
hundred
that's
billion
business.
dollars,
Fucking
and the fund is
Jeff
currently
Bezos
worth,
bought fucking Twitter. Yeah, we know.
bro. The fund is currently worth about between $700 and $800 billion. The fund will be worth $1 trillion within 5 years, bro. It is. They can lose $50 million because it doesn't matter to them, and that is
Until
the
the
truth. We're
dollar's not
done.
worth as much as you think.
We gotta lap this, boys. We gotta lap this,
Yeah,
boys.
we're done.
All
Andrew,
right,
get
fight
after some
announcements.
announcements.
Fight announcements.
Oh no, keep going. No, keep going.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You guys know not to get Joe started up. Once he starts, he doesn't fucking stop, man.
I'm sorry I started the lawnmower. I didn't mean to.
All right.
Can't just shut that shit off.
These ones are going to be quick. There's nothing too crazy tonight. We do have 2 fight changes for this upcoming card. Giannis Gamori is out, so Vinicius Oliveira will now be taking on Bernardo Sopai. That'll be a UFC debutant, so there's nothing to really talk about there. Joel Alvarez is out against Ludwig Klein, so Klein is now going to be taking on AJ Cunningham. But don't worry, because Joel Alvarez has a new fight already. He had visa issues, apparently. He's going to be fighting at UFC Vegas 91 on April 27th against Mateusz Rebecki. So he still gets a fight, which is good, because I think we all like watching Joel Alvarez fight, right?
Yeah. I'm glad to see everybody gets to keep fighting.
Yeah. Always love seeing this shit, especially when they do it quick like that. Let's see. There is a fight for the April 6th event at the Apex. Gene Matsumoto is taking on Dan Argueta. I don't know why, but Dan Argueta is just like a huge fucking Twitter favorite.
Okay. I don't know why. Okay.
I don't know. Like, I feel like his last few fights, everyone loves to fucking bet on him. Okay. Let's see. UFC Vegas 92. That'll be May 11th. Jared Gooden has a fight against Kevin Jousset. I think that's going to be tons of fun.
Yeah, I don't mind Jared Gooden fights, to be honest.
I just don't think he's very good.
But like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
He's just he always seems
what
to
round,
get like
he's
like the guy they call in last minute to fill in as a replacement fighter, and every once in a while he'll pull it off. So then he gets another UFC fight, and then he loses, and then he gets cut. But then they call him back in for another short notice fight.
Slow down. Where are we at? Who was you talking about again?
Jared Gooden and Kevin
Jared
Jousset.
Gooden.
Yeah.
I'm looking up the fight.
What else you got?
Daniel, what's up?
Jared Gooden by KO round 3.
Jesus
There you
Christ.
go.
So
She
Tisha
already put
Torres is
$100
actually
on.
coming back after giving birth to a daughter.
I know
She's
her
gonna be
wife spoiled it for her like 2 weeks ago.
she's gonna be
Yeah, she
taking on
did.
Tabitha Ricci. I think that'll
Okay.
be a good fight.
It will. Well, we don't know what Tisha's going to look like, but it should be a good fight.
Yeah, I think if she has like even remotely the right mindset, I think this will be a fun fucking fight. Because Tisha has good takedown defense, and she's a pretty good striker too. So I think it'll be a good fight, man. Daniel.
Yeah, I am so excited for the return of the Tiny Tornado. I've always been a fan of her. So without a doubt, she's going to take this by 30-27 unanimous decision.
Yeah, she's a fun fight, man. I
That's the
remember.
best take you've ever given, Daniel.
It means a lot coming from you.
It is the best take you've ever given because she will win 30-27 if she wins.
Of
Dude,
course.
she's always a fun fight, man. She's always a fun fight.
She's gonna get killed, dude. You don't come back from having a baby and beat somebody who hasn't.
So, a better fighters who've had babies, they 9 times out of 10 they fought better. You can think
Guys,
of
there's only been one.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
only been
No.
one.
Amanda Nunes.
Juliana Pena is the only woman
Amanda
that I know
Nunes
of that
can't have
actually
babies.
gave
She's
birth
part
and
I'm
bull.
then
talking
came
about
back and fought. I don't know of anybody else that has done it, and she won.
both parents, the father and the mother.
Oh yeah. Well, I shot out 2 loads, made 2 kids, and I'm still
What
fucking
the fuck
begging,
are we
baby.
talking about?
Like, what are
Andrew,
you
what do you got
talking
next?
about?
Oh yeah, fucking rabbit holes. One more fight for that card, and I think it's I mean the most
Baby
fun
shark,
we want to talk
baby
about.
shark.
Shut up.
Come on.
Michael Johnson and Matt Frivola.
Michael
Yeah, that's a
Johnson
banger
at
of a fucking
Cemetery.
fight, bro. That's a good fight. As a fan, that's a good fight. I understand I've talked shit about Michael Johnson for like so long that whatever, but that's a good ass fight, man. I'm excited. I'm actually excited to watch that one.
It's gonna be a fun one.
I like Michael
Oh,
Johnson.
it could
I don't
potentially be
think he can
Johnson's
win
last
this
fight.
one though.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
said
I
that a
don't
whole
think he's
bunch of
gonna win.
times.
I don't think
Yeah,
he's
but
gonna win though.
he's facing a guy who can really put him out, though.
Yeah, that's the
I'm not
part
saying
that
he
I don't
will.
like. Well, they didn't give him a
Uh,
shit kid. They gave him somebody who's got some future talent inside his record book there. So Michael Johnson's got to have a perfect night. He can't get in his head. If he gets in his head, he's just gonna fucking drop. You would hope him to still at least make it to a decision. So that's kind of the question of a Michael Johnson fight. Is he going to get finished? So that'll give us some info on the over.
man, are you
But
guys able to hear the heater that runs in the background when this is on?
a little bit, but not enough to make it
A
annoying.
little bit.
All right, just so I know.
Yeah, that's fine. We know you're a pussy. You need to hear.
Yeah.
Daniel, what do you got?
Oh, Johnson is going to have an easy night. He will go in there, grind out Matt, the steamroller, for all 3 rounds and get the unanimous decision win. Again.
Even if something doesn't go his way, gets a little popped on the chin, goes, oh no, I'm fucking 89 years old on MMA years, and
Yes, he
falls
will
like a
still
little
pull
bitch.
off the unanimous decision win. Yes.
Listen here, boys. Listen here. That
Yeah.
fight definitely ends inside the distance. That's the smartest bet on the fight. Michael Johnson will have to knock him out or get knocked out. Matt Frivola is not going to give him any other option.
Hey
I feel
Andrew,
so confident about that.
hey, what happened to Rosas Tercios?
Who?
It's
It's
moved to
not on
this
the
week.
card.
No, it's
Sounds
not
like a
happening
good
this week.
taco.
Why did it fall off this week?
I don't think so. That's the thing. I think everyone just jumped the gun. There was nothing actually agreed to. So,
Dana
like
said it,
when they
but I
announced
seen
it right
some
away
weird
after it
tweet.
dropped,
Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just saying when they announced it when it dropped, it was like hours later that they were going to be fighting on the new card, and then the very next morning, there was news that he jumped the gun.
Yeah, I seen some weird tweet that said fake news. I couldn't tell who posted it. It was a repost of a repost, or someone screenshotted some shit. But something about Rosa agreed, or Rosa did not agree to it. And that's coming from Tercios, potentially. I don't know how true it is, but um, that was kind of what I seen roll around a little bit. What other fight announcements you got, Andrew?
It makes sense for him though. I mean, think about it. He just cut weight. He obviously had a hard weight cut because that's the reason why he had to fucking drop out because of the post complications. And then it would have been a catch weight, but he still would have had to cut weight again. And obviously, he's not healthy enough for that. So, yeah,
It would have been a better fight for Rosas at a lower elevation in a smaller octagon.
We have 2 fight announcements for a UFC event on May 18th. I wish Will was in here because his favorite fighter is going up. It's going to be Tamiris Vidal versus Haley Cowan. Yeah.
I'm on Haley Cowan. Fuck you.
And then last fight announcement of the night, same card. Luana Pinheiro against the vet, Angela Hill.
Oh, fight goes the distance. I could almost guarantee fight goes the distance. It's the closest thing I can ever do to guarantee you something. From there, UFC 301 Aspinall versus Gane is reportedly in negotiations to headline. I seen it at 3 places, and 2 of them I think were citing the same thing, and one was citing another. So I'm comfortable enough to say that that sounds like it's probably in negotiations for 301, which
They put a
is
Brit and a Frenchman main eventing in Brazil.
I'm afraid so.
That was
yeah.
smart.
When you say it that way, it does sound dumb, but
It makes no
whatever.
sense at all.
Connor J, I seen your hand up.
Yeah, I would just Andrew beat me to it. It's just I know they were probably planning on doing Hill versus Pereira. That's not happening. So them using Tom versus Gon on a Brazil card, like probably main eventing, is just such a funny look. Like the Brazilians there going to the fight are probably like, what, like, do they know who like the audience is here?
Well, the Brazilians just
It's a good
lost their
fight
main
though. It's a
event.
good fight.
The Brazilians
Oh,
just,
I know.
yeah,
The UFC's like scrambling. I'm sure they have to find a main event, but it's a good fight. I'm not saying. I just think it's like funny. It's a funny main event for a Brazil card.
very ironic to be honest. All right, and one more. So I posted a UFC deal in the I posted the International Fight Week tweet in the comments. If somebody wants to pin that. And then I'm going to post another one right now, which is Nate Diaz. So UFC 303 was Fight Week. UFC 306 is officially announced at the Sphere. Like they said, it will be 306. So I just posted a tweet from Nate Diaz, and I'm going to be honest and say, I know you guys don't want to hear it. We do not have to talk about Connor versus Nate. Please do not. We have talked about it into infinitum. I know how every one of you feel about it, and you know how I feel about it. But
I'm talking about a trilogy of the greatest
yeah,
fights ever.
so Nate is asking for it, and I seen on Best of MMA that someone reputation worthy. I don't know who it was, but I seen it on Best of MMA. That it was posted 6 hours or 8 hours before Nate posted that he was in negotiations with the UFC for a new contract.
Cool. What's the next one?
Michael Chandler was on social media. He is still on social media defending his decision to wait for Connor.
He's not giving it up, bro.
I don't think he's going to get it either.
I think he has anything else to lose, though. I mean, if he gets back in and takes another fight, he's probably going to lose. So like either take the Conor fight or retire. I'm sure he's got all kinds of other things that he's investing his money in. He knows what the fuck he's doing with his goddamn money. He takes $1 million fight with fucking Conor or he retires. He doesn't give a fuck. He's never gonna wear a belt.
Does he even get paid the money that he's fucking expecting from the Conor fight? I mean, fucking Cowboy Cerrone was over there. Everyone's like, "Oh, congratulations, Cerrone! Red panty night, red panty night." Fucking guys over here all like, "Yeah, I just got paid my minimum." Like, so I don't know what Chandler's expecting. Like, was it in his contract? Like, is it like for
Ultimate Fighter.
like, is it unspoken rule? Is Dana like gonna pay him off like in the back end? You know, like, thanks for waiting, thanks for being a company guy. Like after he gets fucking sparked from, well, I'm expecting at least. I just don't see this red panty night. Where's it coming from?
But Dad, don't you think that he still made a good portion just with the Ultimate Fighter?
Bro,
I don't know.
He probably made more money with Ultimate Fighter than he he does with actually fighting.
You would
listen, he
hope
got
so. That
listen,
shit's
listen, he got somewhere between $250,000 and $500,000 when he was the backup fighter for before he ever fought in the UFC. He's got a
Yeah,
lot
and
of money.
people will pay to see Chandler. Not too many people were like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to see fucking Connor fight out of his prime Cerrone." But like, you know, fans, if Michael Chandler actually does get the fight, like fans, I mean, some of you may not want to see it, some of you may do, but like,
Listen,
there's a lot
Dana.
of casual fans that'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch that."
Listen, Dana already said Connor will probably return in the fall. Just think about this, guys. Nate Diaz, Oche, Conor McGregor, the Sphere. Dana's investing millions into this card. Millions. He talks about it. He will have millions just into the graphic effects. Bro, the fight that makes sense, the Conor versus Nate fight, if it has ever made sense, it is now. Nate has a fight or two left in his life. Conor has a fight or two left in his life. It just makes sense, in my opinion. I can't promise it's going to happen. The other fight, shout out Usman. Henry Cejudo is calling to fight Brandon Moreno at 306. That's a fight that makes fucking sense, man. 306 is going to be stacked. I promise you, it is going to have star power.
Joe, let me ask you, bro. What weight do they fight at? Because it's not
Henry,
125.
Henry wants Brandon to come up.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
I said that earlier in the chat. I'm like, it's either going to be a catch weight at 130 or they're going to do it at 135 if it happens.
Two washed out players or washed out fighters. Come on.
Yeah, but for star power, you get them on the main card.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, bro. Like that.
Bro,
You
Brandon
get them.
loses one fight and he's washed. Come on, bro.
Come on,
That's
more
what
than
I'm
one
saying.
fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, plus they got the
Well,
history
that
between each other
Pantoja
too.
fight was a fucking good fight, bro.
Yeah, what about
Everybody in
Davidson
the
Figueroa?
arena. Everybody in the arena thought Moreno won that fight. I was there.
Bro, we're not on the fucking Moreno fight again. We're not doing this. Like, we're not doing
He's washed,
We're not.
man. He's over. He's done.
Hey, can I actually say something?
All right. What do you got?
There's a friend of the space. I didn't know if you guys saw this or not, but Miranda Maverick is like doing a bunch of auctioning for her fight gear. She sent it to me on Instagram, asked me to share it. I shared it for her. I don't know if she posted it on Twitter, but all the proceeds are gonna go to like I think it's like human trafficking or stuff. But anyways, you can get some cool shit, bro. You can get like some rock shoes and some slides and some shit for like $10, bro. Like she's selling it for some good shit, bro. I think it's raffle tickets, and then she raffles it off. But I don't know if any
She
of you interested. I mean, pretty cool.
Could you send me
she
that?
yeah, she posted it on Twitter too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to get people to leave our show to go over to her show. What the hell, Kate?
Okay, could you
All
send
right.
I'm just messing with you, man.
So
Yeah, I'll put in some stuff for it.
Fedor is calling to box Francis, and sadly, PFL might do that one day. We're not going to talk about it though. Drake Riggs posted that Czech Congo and Fabio Maldon. Maldonado. God damn it. However, it said will fight on the Rampage Jackson and Shannon Briggs card. I think I have a bookmark for that one. I fucking lied. I did have a bookmark for it, but I don't know where it is. So we'll clock out cards and announcements now. Fuck, we are running over, so I'm gonna hit some topics quickly, and then we can get some hands up and discuss whichever ones seem to hit with everybody. So I'm graying out the card right now, or the announcements. Gray those out, get those out of the way. Oh, hey, while I do this, it's a great time for Darce.
Hey guys, it's Darce again. I just wanted to take a minute and remind you to visit our site capmma.com. Our odds board is connected to over 50 sports books. If a book is offering fight odds, CAP MMA will have them. Why go to Cap MMA for your odds, you may wonder? Well, there's a couple reasons. We have several quick visual markers to speed up what you're looking for. We highlight the best odds, the worst odds, line movements, and flips. While you're there, don't forget to check out our parlay calculator. It allows you to compare live odds at every book with a few simple clicks. Turn parlays to on and check the compare button. You might think you're getting the best returns for your money, but it never hurts to double check. We have live rankings, betting tools, external resource listings, and the most up-to-date headlines from the best news sources, and you'll never have to leave the board for any of it. Not to mention it's both free and ad-free. CapMMA.com.
See, it was a great time for Darce to come on. I got all types of stuff done there during that short break, guys. Thanks for
Hey, whose
sticking.
voice is that on the commercial?
Darce.
It's mine while I'm taking a shit.
Who is
That's
that? That's
that's our
Rhino.
no. That's
Yeah.
the
Right when I'm taking a
virtual.
shit, like when I'm pushing it
Stop,
out,
bro. That's
when I
the
fucking
virtual
go.
assistant. It's not anybody's voice.
Oh, it's the AI. Oh fuck.
yeah. It's AI. Yes. Uh,
This is too much, man.
um. Yeah, I've been doing that for weeks, there, Vinny. I've been doing that for weeks. All right. So here's some hot topics. Oh, I already told you guys. So who? Quick survey. Does anybody know, without having to hit Google, does anybody know who the longest reigning champion in the UFC is right now? Longest active champion.
Oh, they said it a few days ago, and it's not very
Edwards,
long either.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah,
Leon Edwards.
it's gotta be Leon Edwards. It's gotta be him.
It's fucking Leon Edwards. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, so
Ironic, isn't it?
last week I reported that. So here's what happened. Last week, I reported to you that the UFC Riyadh is taking place June 22nd at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on UFC and on the UFC's website. The arena and the date are there with TBD versus TBD. And then I told you, if you go to the Kingdom Arena's website, which I should have taken fucking screenshots, but I didn't care like that. If you go to their websites and you scroll down to tickets, it actually said that Israel Adesanya was going to fight Hamzat Chimaev June 23rd at 8 p.m. That's the time difference between the June 22nd card. Dana White says not happening. This is a fake post. All the media that ran with it are the problem. Absolute clowns. Okay, so and then several hours later, all the media outlets started taking down the post and the articles about it. So I think the problem are that the media outlets started talking indefinitely. We talk speculatively. He wasn't talking about us. That's not what I'm trying to imply. We spoke speculatively. Could this mean that they broke it? I referenced when John and Surreal's fight at 285 got leaked on the T-Mobile banner. But for Dana to say this is a fake post and a fake story, it's not. Andrew did it while we were live in the space last week, and he can tell you if you went to the Kingdom Arena's website, it said that Hamzat Chimaev and Israel Adesanya were fighting. So Dana can get as pissed as he wants at the media and try to throw them under the fucking bus all he wants. I never defend them, but he's being a clown. It absolutely did fucking happen. So I'm reporting finally something anti Dana White. Yeah, that's what I got there. Ilya Taporia, the star, part 1. I say part 1 because I have a feeling I am going to be talking about this man for a while. So he was on.
You better get used to it, man. That's the man. I'm telling you, and I've been telling you since the beginning of the year, he was gonna kick what's his name's ass.
That's not. That's he. So, bro, I'm talking about how fucking famous he is in Spain. He was on the
Yeah,
cover
he
of
went to the
Marca.
soccer stadium and fucking became a superstar.
Bro, he didn't. So he went to the Marca. He's on Marca. That's like their biggest magazine over there. Apparently, the covers are dominated by the top football players. And that's all that's ever on there. And he made the
You
cover, which is a big deal. Then he
you
went
mean
to the
you mean
game.
soccer players, right?
Yeah, football players.
It's football. It's not
That's what.
football.
No, I said it with a U, not two O's. I said football.
Okay.
So then he did go to that soccer game.
We call it fairy ball up here in the baseball world. We
No,
like
no,
it
no,
that way.
no, no.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so he walked out at the soccer stadium, got a huge reaction, did a first kick. That's like the first pitch, I assume. He didn't Conor McGregor embarrass himself. So I did not see this and I did not spot it. But one of the major outlets on YouTube says that he is a favorite and Conor McGregor is listed as a plus 2,500 against Ilya Taporia. Um, what the flying fuck? That must be like at featherweight, meaning Conor cuts off his leg and his arm to fight him or something. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Plus 2,500? Ilya wants to go up to fight Islam to build his legacy. Islam can't build his legacy fighting 145ers. Javier Mendez has made it pretty clear that Islam's going to fight twice, and one of them's going to be moving up this year. Fucking Ilya got gifted an Aston Martin at like, I don't know, Aston Martin held like a fucking press conference in front of a big ass Aston Martin fucking promo banner and shit. And these fucking filthy rich guys were shaking his hand and shit, happy to get their picture taken, giving him a car. I couldn't see what kind of car it is, but they fucking gave it to him. Like,
Aston Martin, 250K.
yeah, bro, the cheapest one you can get's like 190 something. My comment about Ilya, and then I'll let whoever has their hand up get on the mic, is that I don't want him to talk about Conor McGregor. If Ilya is this star that I didn't realize, bro, I want you to be a new star. I do not want to hear you talk about Conor McGregor. Just go be you, be huge. I'll be happy. I'll root for you. I'm not a hater. But the more he says Conor, the less I'm gonna want to see him. Uh, in Fuego, did I say it right?
Yeah, you got it finally, man.
Yeah, so fuck all them UFC
Yeah,
names that I don't pronounce right because I got
yeah.
your name right. So
Fuck
Yeah,
fuck
but
you.
yeah.
don't
I'll
you think he
defend you
wants
from here
Conor
on out,
McGregor
man.
because of the money?
Yeah, bro,
Anyway,
it's a fame. It's fame for him. Topuria does not fight for the money from all indications, bro. It's the fame.
hey, so what I was going to say is, Joe, you're right, but I watch a lot of soccer, probably as much as MMA. Real Madrid is the class football team in the world, like the number one iconic team in the world. Not only did he walk out, he did all that shit, but you guys heard a few weeks ago them talking about, Real Madrid's opening a new stadium, him in the UFC opening that stadium, which is 80,000 capacity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he jumped just by walking out with Real Madrid on the pitch. I think it was last weekend. Huge, man. It can't be understated.
So the only thing that I will say about that, because this has been asked to Dana about like that big ass fucking stadium in England. He doesn't like going in big stadiums because he feels it takes away from the experience. So that's
Yeah,
why
No,
he's
right.
no.
kind of
He
like a
said
You're
limit.
no.
right.
No. He was asked about that stadium, and he said, "How big is it?" They said 80,000. He said right to the media. He said, "Is it indoor?" And the dude from the media went, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's do it." He goes, "You just," and he like complimented the guy and basically said, "Let's do it." And that's what I'm saying. I can't. I mentioned last week, like, who the fuck is he to sell 80,000 seats? Well, man, maybe he does sell 80,000 seats. Connor J.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about uh, the whole Connor thing. I agree with Joe. I don't like that he keeps bringing him up. I understand that Connor's still the biggest star in the world, and you want to get a little bit of his shine by mentioning him. That's cool. But I mean, like fight guys in your division. Like Connor doesn't even fight anymore. I don't know why you're even talking about him. I know that I don't know if he's backtracked on this. I know he was talking about not fighting Max and Brian and so on, all the guys have already fought for the belt. But I think fighting at least Max, beating a guy like Max does great things for Ilya, for his resume and his maybe in popularity, just being a guy so credible as Max.
Yeah, yeah, just start. I agree with you in the sense, just start building your own legacy and get it over with, or get on with it. Daniel.
I have never seen a fighter win a belt, come back to his country, and the prime minister gives him his official citizen papers. I mean, that was amazing when I saw that tweet. I mean, you come home with the belt and now you're automatically a citizen of Spain. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, just
He's
think about that for a
also
second.
he's training with some Dagestanis. I don't know who they are. Any other hands up on this one? No. All right. I agree with you, Daniel. It was pretty fucking kick ass. I actually watched him walk out a couple times because I just like to. I if there's anything I can pick up for these spaces, I like to be able to do it, and it was a pretty cool moment. And he got a huge reaction. Vinny, go ahead.
I just want to add, man, that Ilya Tapour's footwork is the best I ever seen in the world. I have never seen anybody that's got a better footwork. I mean, I thought Volkanovski had good footwork, but Topuria just killed it, and it showed in the last fight. So that being said, I don't think I think that guy is gonna be a champion for a long, long time, man. Better get used to fucking. I don't think he's got the power of the stamina to fight Shemaya though. I don't understand that, and he's totally nuts if he thinks he can take on that guy.
Yeah. You said who?
Shemaya, isn't he supposed to be fighting Shemaya?
What the fuck? No.
Didn't
Better
didn't
times.
didn't Shemaya say something about another little man fighting one to fight me or something like that? I could have swore I heard something about that.
I didn't see it. Better times.
I was just gonna add on that. As long as he gets past Mozart Evloev, then he's gonna be reigning for a long time. That's the real threat to his title. No one else in the top five really is.
No, Max Holloway, bro. Max
No, he's
Holloway.
not.
How do we forget this guy?
I
Well,
forgot.
I didn't forget about him. I break down tape all the time. Taporia is gonna beat him.
Yes, he will. I gotta concur with that one. I'm not even sweating that.
His
Connor,
footwork, man. Once again, his footwork.
Connor J.
I agree with both. I think Mozart and Max are good opponents for him, especially Mozart. It's a new, fresh matchup. He's a guy on the come up, so that'd be an interesting fight. But just to touch on the Islam thing, because I think, Joe, you mentioned that his coach, Javier Mendez, said that he's going to fight twice this year, and one of those is going to be up a weight class. Can this dude, like, just fight, like, some lightweights? Like, why? are we jumping around weight classes? He hasn't even defended his belt against a lightweight, and that's not like his fault because he was scheduled to fight, Charles, and Charles pulled out. So that's the fight went on, whatever. But gosh, you have Justin waiting, you have Charles, and then he's fighting 300. Arman Sayukian. Like, dude, he's got guys to fight. Like, why are we just jumping up weight classes and whatnot? I don't know. That just annoys me.
Yeah, we know about your meritocracy. I told everybody in here fucking 12 months ago he's not gonna fight at 155. And then when he almost did, I looked like the fool, and then he did. And so I looked good again. Fuck you guys. All right, Daniel, what do you got?
I concur too. If for some ungodly reason Justin Gate doesn't finish Holloway, to Ilya Tapiri will do. I just want that guy to be finished for the first time in his career.
All right. Amanda Rebaz got her degree in physical education. Congrats to her. That's the end. That's the end of that conversation, guys. That was the whole topic there. So congrats to her. What?
What is she gonna do? Be a PE teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be fucking dope. You imagine going into
Interesting
class?
choice.
I love fighters who have college education under the belts. They're
She should
respected.
be. She should be. She should be the wrestling.
I made a birdhouse one time in my woodshop class.
AP is training with Steven Seagal for 300. Fade that man. AP is also dating, or I mean, like they're posting public pictures, training pictures,
We know what's
at
going on.
home, at home wrestling on the floor pictures. Him and Polyana Vienna are clearly and a thing right now. So this man got new love going on, and he's training with Steven Seagal. I'm not saying that is the actual reasons to fade him. I'm just saying that those could be actual reasons to fade his ass.
Fade, 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 fade. The fake martial artist. If he is in the conversation,
Yeah,
that is fucked
yeah,
up.
you fucking lost. Like that's how I feel.
Oh yeah. I mean anything you research on that fucking guy, dude, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, he's not.
Especially if you were ever a fan, you're gonna hate every single thing that you see.
Tony Ferguson says nobody is going to tell me what the fuck to do. I'm going to fight until the wheels fall off. Fuck retiring. I just posted that in the comments here. If somebody would like to pin it or whatever it is, so everybody can see it up top. But Tony Ferguson plans to fight until he dies in the cage or something. Shout out to all you Tony Ferguson fans. Like, hey, at least your boy's not going anywhere. He's gonna be.
He's
Hell
going to bare
yeah.
knuckle. He's going to bare knuckle. He's going somewhere.
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, Dana's like, no, me and Dave didn't talk about trading fighters. Dana's letting Tony go to bare knuckle for sure. I have no question about it. No question about it. He's letting Tony go to bare knuckle. So yeah, fuck that topic. I'll let anybody comment on it. I'm gonna just hit some of these nonsense, these ones that aren't big deals, and then any comments anybody wants to get off on any of them, they can. Megan Anderson recently said that she will not likely return to MMA. She didn't say the exact words, "I have found new life passions," but she cited some other things that she's very passionate about. And she noted that it's already been 3 years, or maybe she said nearly 3 years, and she has not trained. So she just doesn't really see herself coming back. She didn't say she retired, but I think Megan Anderson is retired. She really enjoys broadcasting with ESPN, and I think she is going to pursue that. Khabib was.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Joe, after that fight with Amanda Nunes, I thought we all assumed she was retired.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge loss. Just talking about what goes on out there. That's why I said these aren't all big deal ones. Khabib Nurmagomedov was recently recorded in an intense training session with Islam Makhachev. I'm not saying it means anything at all. I don't think he's coming back. But when things like this actually surface,
I always point them out in the space. What other really small ones do I got that I can throw in here in case anybody wants to get on them? I guess that's them. Connor J, go ahead. I seen you had your hand up.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Tony's all four wheels have fell off, and then all four spares fell off. That guy, I don't know what
Bro.
he
The
thinks.
radiator's leaking. He's out of fluid. He's just riding that bitch.
It's smoking.
Dude,
It's smoking a lot.
he's just telling
I
Bigfoot
don't
Silva
know.
to hold his beer, bro.
Yeah.
Let him die. Let him die in the cage.
That shit's sad.
Vinny, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask about. Did anybody talk about the Rosa's junior fight against Ricky Rubio as to what happened and why is Ricky not wanting to fight him this weekend?
Did you just call him Ricky Rubio, the basketball player?
Ricky
This guy's all
Tercios.
over the place, bro.
I mean,
Tercio.
Thursday, yeah, my fault. I'm eating
There's
right
some
now.
low level. We talked about it a little bit, bro. There's some low level stuff where it seems like Tercio is saying that Rosa didn't want to take the fight. It's all stipulation. I don't want to double back only because I still got a bunch of shit I'm trying that. Khabib Nurmagomedov was gifted $20 million worth of Russian real estate by
By whom?
Vladimir.
Fill
By
me in on
Vladimir.
that. By whom?
By Vladimir Putin after he beat Conor McGregor.
And real quick, can you explain to everybody who that is, please?
No, I'm not.
You don't know who that is?
Got a cool spine tattoo.
He knows who that is.
He's got a pretty good record in the bars against older guys.
And he does Sambo competitively.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Bangs hookers.
All right. So Ryan Garcia says he's down to fight Sean O'Malley. I think he's fucking legit down to fight Sean O'Malley. Here's what I got. I'm gonna share a tweet right now in the comments. If anybody could repost it, I'm grateful. I don't know why the Twitter has decided I'm not worthy of being able to do that. All right, so here we go. It's in the comments here. This is Ryan Garcia posting that he will fight Sean O'Malley. What it actually says, word for word, I don't know what it says word for word. I didn't fucking remember the quote. God damn it, me. I'd fight Sean O'Malley in the UFC. That's it. But Dana, you'd have to cut me that real check. Then, and I don't know how well this one's going to go over for us, but we're going to find out. Fuck it. We just do what we want. It's not really do what we want. It's just, like this shit's got to be fair play. We're just trying to talk about shit that's going on. So, full credit. This is the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani show. He is talking to Ryan Garcia. The interview is about 33 minutes long. They talk about Sean O'Malley and Ilia Topuria for about 5 minutes. Ryan clearly does not know who Ilia Topuria is. He kind of tries to, I don't know. He's not rude about it, but he clearly doesn't know who he is. I'm not playing any of that. I'm going to play the first 70 seconds of the interview. This is when Ariel first brings it up and what Ryan Garcia initially said. If you want to hear any more, go to the MMA Hours page on YouTube. It's 33 minutes. It is the video posted in the past couple of days with Ariel and Ryan Garcia. I don't know a better way to credit it, so that's the best I can do. And here is the clip. Over the weekend as well, there were a lot of tweets from you. One was about Sugar Sean O'Malley. Oh, yeah, bring that motherfucker on. I'll beat his ass in MMA, guaranteed. In MMA? Yeah, I'm a natural. You don't understand. I'm a natural wrestler. I just beat my security that's a wrestler. I beat him. I'm strong, and I got crazy conditioning. So most people in your position would want him to come over to boxing. No, but that's already been done. Yeah. I know I'm going to knock him out in boxing. That's not even fair. What is fair is to test myself in MMA because I know if I put my mind to it and I trained every day and I had Nate helping me, even Alex Pereira, all of them, and I really locked in,
He will not beat me. I will come with everything I have, and I would destroy Sean O'Malley. In the UFC? In the UFC. I've already sent text messages to Dana. Yes. I've already got people that are connected to Dana to ask him, let's do this. I'll come to UFC, pay me a bag, I'm there. I'm down to do it.
Any response?
No.
Not yet. Well, Dana and Oscar have a bit of a
I don't know anything about that. All I know is Dana hit me back.
Okay.
I'm trying to beat Sean O'Malley's ass. Ooh, that kind of run.
Yeah.
So they go on for another few minutes. It's a good
This is the
interview.
first fight I would pay $100 for. I would pay $100.
I encourage everybody to go listen to the interview. I'm not
Look, he
just
said
being
the
a
same
martyr.
shit about Haney, and he fucking got his ass whipped. Fuck Ryan Garcia. He's a pussy.
Listen, bro, the best part of that shit
You
right
mean
there was he
Tank?
said the best
Was it
part
Tank or
was
Haney? One of them whipped me. He said the same shit. Oh, I'll whip his ass, blah, blah, blah. He's all
He's
talk,
fighting
man.
Haney soon.
okay, you said that 3 times, bro. I heard you the first 2 times. Yelling
I
at me like
just gotta
I'm
say.
yelling at me, motherfucker. The best part of the whole shit was when he said, I'm a great wrestler. I just out wrestled my security guard. I was
Who
like,
the fuck is the
get the
security
fuck
guy?
out of
Security
But
here.
guys
he
What the
fucking
said
fuck are
his
fight.
you talking
security
about,
guard
bro?
was a wrestler.
He said
He
he's a
said his
wrestler. I
security
beat
guard was a
him. What
wrestler.
the fuck?
He does cocaine, just like Oscar, man. Fucking hell. Golden boy, oh my god, bro.
Ryan
Ah,
Garcia is a shit talker, man. He always talks shit.
Connor J, go ahead.
Sean O'Malley would do unspeakable things to him in MMA. He would toy with him. I don't even. Ryan's kind of a goof. He's a good boxer, but he would just get manhandled by
Bro,
Sean
if
O'Malley.
Sean
Would not even
O'Malley
be
tried to
close.
stand with Ryan Garcia, I am sorry to tell you, he is going to get beat the fuck up. He better do something.
Who?
He better kick the
Who?
leg. Sean O'Malley better kick the leg. He better kick the leg because Ryan Garcia will beat his motherfucking ass in a fist fight. That's not
No.
even a
Wait,
question,
wait, wait,
bro.
Joe. You're talking about in MMA?
Yeah, if Sean O'Malley tries to
Why?
stand with him,
Why would Sean not kick him? That's that's obvious. Kicking is it's a big part of Sean's game. Yeah, he's gonna kick the fucking shit out of his legs.
so
He's
here,
gonna head kick him. He's
my
gonna body
initial
kick
thought
him. He's gonna do all
was
that.
when he said he could train
So
with
you
Nate.
think kicks is the fucking
He's talking about Nate Diaz. That's a joke, right? But when he says AP, listen, man, Ryan Garcia with leg kicks is a fucking problem for anybody.
Stop it. Stop it. Let's be real.
Bro,
He would fucking
you're telling
destroy
me
Ryan in
that a
MMA.
world's
He would
top
destroy.
that
boxer.
work in boxing doesn't help you fucking learn how to get out of a leg
Here's
kick.
what I'll say to you. Find me one MMA fighter that didn't have a boxing set that did not eventually get absolutely destroyed by somebody with a boxing set. Name them for me. Because any dominant grappler you're going to name, at some point, someone that could box just stuffed their takedowns and beat the shit out of them. It happened to all of them.
He doesn't need to stuff. He doesn't need to stuff or try to take Ryan down. He would destroy him on the feet. Training with Pereira for a few months is not going to be enough time.
Bro, stop.
He would absolutely maul Ryan. It would not be close.
What a coincidence. He doesn't even know who Ilya Taporia
Ryan
is, too.
knock him out in the first round.
Ilya Taporia whipped his ass in the.
Ryan's about to look like Clarissa Shields, fucking right, like from that PFL
He
fucking fight
said
she just had, right, versus the Bellator.
he wouldn't fight Taporia because Taporia would take him down. He was honest. He did say that shit. I don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is freaking he wouldn't take him down. Sean O'Malley is not a ground fighter. He's not going to go in there and try and be a bitch and fucking go
No,
for
he's
a
gonna want a
takedown.
fucking fist fight.
He told everybody he was going to stand and he's going to stand with them. And fucking Ryan Garcia would knock him the fuck out.
Yeah.
No. But Sean is decent on the ground, and he would be great on the ground against Ryan, who is
Yeah, but
not
he
an
have to
MMA
turn into
fighter.
a takedown fighter. He's
He
not
doesn't
going to
need
go
to
for
be a
that.
takedown fighter.
All
He
right,
needs
Yeah,
to
he
know
does.
one
but
takedown
listen, bro.
because Ryan's going
Sean
to
Yes,
come out
O'Malley
and
has
he
not
has
been
dismantle
a
it.
calling out
100%
Ryan
get it.
Garcia for 18 months so that he can take him down. Just
He's not going to.
he's gonna
But
stand with
we're
her.
acting like he needs to be a takedown fighter to beat him
Bro,
in
you're
MMA.
acting
He
like
would destroy
Ryan
him on the feet.
Garcia doesn't have hands that are 7 skill sets better than Sean O'Malley's.
He's not gonna be in boxing range. He's gonna be in kickboxing range where
This
fucking
isn't
Ryan's not gonna be able to
freaking
get to
Randy
him.
Couture. This isn't Randy Couture and
He
James
doesn't need to be
Toney.
Randy. He doesn't need to be
All right.
Randy where he
We
needs to
we
grapple him.
clearly stand where we stand.
This is
We
elementary.
clearly stand where we stand. In Fuego.
Yeah, I was just gonna let me throw in my opinion real quick. I mean, Clarissa Shields, widely considered the GOAT of women's and they are scraping the bottom of the barrel throughout the world to find an opponent that she can look good against, and she still looks fucking terrible. So I'm not saying that's Ryan Garcia.
She's fighting
I'm just
165.
saying Clarissa Shields is the best woman boxer there is, and she looks like complete booty hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, but in
and
Fuego, didn't you hear, bro? He's going to be training with AP for a few months. He's going to be a fucking
Yeah,
expert after that,
well,
dude.
that'll
He's going to know
definitely
Yeah,
everything
men
after
and
a
Wait,
few
women are
he will
months.
AP for a few
different.
definitely
months,
help
Andrew. AP
defend
for a few
kicks
months.
and
Oh my
clinching up
God,
against the
he's gonna be a
cage.
champ.
That'll definitely help him.
listen,
I'll take Ryan Garcia against
No,
Shields.
Joe,
comparing
I'm
Just so
Joe.
you
I'm
know.
just saying
comparing fat ass
we're,
Carissa Shields to Ryan Garcia is not the same thing.
well,
Like that.
how
Let's
is
just
that
be
not the
clear.
same thing? She is the best woman
Because when you
boxer in
take a
her.
piss, that's a number one, and when you take a shit, it's number two.
She's
I
the
mean,
best
come on,
woman
it's men and
boxer in
women.
her field. How is it not the same
So
Now,
thing?
what? It's
and
Ryan
Fuego's right,
Garcia. How many people he's
especially.
competing?
In Fuego, what weight does she fight at?
Well, are we talking MMA? She was at 165, right?
Okay. What weight does she
Her
box at?
last fight.
What does she box at? Tell me.
155.
I'm asking
Uh,
you, what does she box at?
165, probably.
No,
So
55.
okay, so it's 154 and a half. So 154 and a half is what she boxes at. Okay, so since she's the greatest, right?
No,
And we're
I'm not
comparing her
saying
to
she
no,
is.
wait, wait.
That's what she says
Since
she is.
since she's the greatest, and we're comparing her to Ryan Garcia. Um,
No,
name me.
I'm not saying that, Joe. I'm not saying
No,
that.
but you did.
I'm
But you
saying
did.
a professional boxer that is widely considered one
No.
of the best in their
But here,
field.
wait, but stop. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, rock and roll.
Name 254.5 pound fighters that she's knocked out for me. Name two.
What in MMA?
No, in boxing.
Well, shit. You want me to pull up the stats right now? I'd have to go back
No,
and
I
look.
want you to name them. I want you to name them just off the top of your head
Yeah.
because they're
Well,
fucking nobodies. They're nobodies. She's comparing her to Ryan Garcia is not even a relevant comparison, is what I'm saying. She is not. It is not the same level. It is not. Holly Holm coming over to MMA is what a top level woman boxer looks like coming over to MMA. Holly Holm, who is boxing
Great
Hall of Fame.
comparison. How the hell did you pull that out? Great comparison.
Boxing Hall of Fame. That is what a great boxer looks like coming over into women's
do you
MMA.
think? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you watch Holly Holm fight in the UFC, do you honestly believe she should be in the Boxing Hall of Fame? When you watch her in the octagon,
No, but when I watch
or do you think it's kind of a joke?
her box, I think she should be in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Because when I watch her in the octagon, I don't see
now at 40 years old. Did you watch her first 7 fights with the UFC?
I don't think at 35 she was a good boxer in the UFC. Not worthy of the Boxing Hall of Fame.
So who outboxed her?
Doesn't everybody outbox her in the octagon now? We're talking
Now,
about
but
now.
you said 5 years ago. You said 35. Who at 35 who had outboxed her in the octagon?
Let me pull up Holly Holm.
No, you're gonna go pull up stats and try to look at
No,
tape
fuck. I'm
shit.
not pulling up stats.
But I'm
not
just
pulling up
saying,
fucking
who?
stats.
No one
Look,
had
it
no one
doesn't.
outboxed her.
It doesn't fucking matter because boxing and boxing and boxing and MMA are completely different things. You can't take a boxer and just say, do your boxing in MMA because there's a lot of different other things that you have to worry about, whether it be kicks, takedowns, elbows, knees, all this other extra bullshit. So, boxing and MMA, and everybody wants to shit about, well, fucking MMA fucking box. MMA strikers suck at boxing. They wouldn't fucking be anything in fucking actual boxing. Yeah, just like how fucking Clarissa Shields is one of the best fucking boxers in women's boxing, comes to MMA, and she still fucking sucks over here too. Shut the fuck up about Sean O'Malley versus fucking Ryan Garcia. This fight isn't gonna happen, and y'all guys are chasing your tails over a bunch of nonsense.
Bro, and I'm shocked that Joe's arguing against that. Like, I am thoroughly and genuinely shocked. Like, I don't even believe what I'm hearing.
Sean O'Malley is going to try to have a fist fight with Ryan Garcia. That's what he's going to try to do. It's what he has said since the day he called him out. Sean O'Malley is not clever. He is not trying to trick him. Sean O'Malley is dumb as fuck. He's dumb as fuck. And he is going to try to have a fist fight with Ryan Garcia. Dana White is going to make that fight happen because I promise you that is a top 15, if not top 10 UFC pay-per-view of all time. Ryan Garcia versus Sean O'Malley does break 1,000,000 buys. It does. I don't like the idea. I just was in here hating on Sean O'Malley and his fucking star power 2 weeks ago, but that breaks a
Money,
million
money,
without a
money.
problem. It breaks 1,000,000 pay-per-views. No fucking
Show
problem.
me the money. Show me the money.
Connor
Exactly what it's
J,
all
and
about.
then
It'll sell.
Daniel, and then I'm gonna skip the topic. We're over now.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Usman said. Spot on everything. I don't think that Sean would make it. Like he wouldn't box O'Malley in MMA. Sean's game is very kick oriented. He's throws body kicks, he throws leg kicks, head kicks, and he would expose Ryan in an MMA fight. This shit would not be close, and he does not need to be Randy Couture in the way that he did James Toney to beat Ryan. But let me make this clear. He can be Randy Couture to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia training with AP for a few months, as if AP is like a great grappler or whatever, but him training with him for a few months is not going to beat Sean O'Malley.
Okay.
It
Daniel.
would do very well on pay-per-views though, but it's not going to happen like Usman said.
Uh, Oscar De La Hoya also said he will do the deal, and Dana White did say he would make that fight. So just to put all that out there. Daniel, go ahead.
With all due respect and honor, Ryan Garcia, wait your turn and take a number. I have $20 on Chito Vera submitting O'Malley. So wait your turn, Ryan Garcia. You want to
It
knock
won't
him out?
matter. Sean could lose to Cheeto, and that fight would still do 1,000,000 pay-per-views. It wouldn't matter.
Exactly. So we're going to have the first ever Ecuador-born champion. If Ryan wants to knock out Mali, he has to wait his turn.
Okay. Zabet.
I just gotta say this to Enfuego. Clarissa Shields' fight wasn't that bad. She did well. I would say it was a good fight.
You thought she
No,
did well
was it?
Saturday?
It was boring as
Besides,
hell.
besides the
She was
takedown,
like popping her up, and then it was John to the
I
ground.
besides her
thought it was
ground game,
horrible.
it was a good fight.
I don't think she's improved whatsoever in MMA, and they are giving her some tomato cans.
That's all they got. It's 165. If UFC can't even hold a 145 division and they have dropped it to a 135, how in the fuck are you going to promote
You guys,
165?
did you guys see that all that talk that she had with Cyborg? Do you know what Cyborg
Yeah.
would do to Clarissa Shields in the octagon? Holy shit! It might
Yeah,
even
but
Yes,
she
murder
would
her.
knock. Hold on. She would
she would
knock her
drag.
out in the boxing ring too.
Yeah,
She would
no,
knock
I
her
don't
out in the
disagree
fucking
with that.
boxing ring too.
I don't
She
disagree with that
would.
at all.
There's a huge power discrepancy between those two women.
Obviously.
So real quick, because I'm gonna move this topic on. We're fucking killing it here. I wanted to let everybody get on the mic, but everybody has said what they have to say twice now. Um, Sean O'Malley hasn't landed 50 leg kicks in all of his UFC fights. Um, the fight where he threw 240 fucking punches is the fight where he threw the most leg kicks ever. It was 8. Everybody in here telling me how great his kick game is. Go check the fucking stats. He doesn't throw kicks. That's not real. You guys are making that shit up. I knew you were making it up. He throws 2 or 3 kicks per fight at tops. He threw 240 fucking punches, significant punches, and threw 8 fucking leg kicks. Fucking blow me. Sean O'Malley's going to try to have a fist fight with Ryan Garcia. Yep, I'm going to be
Wrong.
the... Okay. Well, we'll see, because he kicks everybody else. That's right. And he grapples everybody else, and he kicks everybody else. So magically, Sean
Yeah,
O'Malley's
your
going to
hands
be...
kind of drop when you
Sean O'Malley's going to
your hands
magically...
drop when you kick.
Sean O'Malley's going to magically be something he never has been, so that Ryan, whatever. I'm fucking with you guys, but I'm very serious. He doesn't throw kicks. They're not there. The fights, unless the UFC's lying and it's a conspiracy against all you fucks, he doesn't throw kicks.
Would you
All
consider
right.
Sean to be a high IQ fighter?
How
No,
many
I think he's very dumb.
how
I
many
think he's
body
very
kicks
dumb.
does he throw? There's not a stat
What's
for
that?
that, right?
You think he's a
What's
dumb fighter?
There's no stat for that? Oh, yes, there is a stat for that. So in the
For
kick where
body
he threw,
kicks?
yeah, absolutely there is. Let's see here. So, well, let's see. There's not, but he threw 8 total body strikes in the one where he threw 240 strikes. He threw 2 body strikes in that fight. He threw, that's a big one. 20 out of 120. 15. So, I mean, he throws them, I guess, but the kick numbers in those fights are 2 and 3. He gets kicked a lot, though. He apparently he gets kicked a lot. I could run those stats too. He's getting kicked a dozen times a fight. I don't know, guys. I'm trolling you about it, but PBC. If you guys don't know what PBC is, that is Premier Boxing. They lost Canelo Alvarez. He is no longer with them. He parted ways after failing to agree on a Charlo fight with them. Him and Dan Raphael agreed that they would get rid of his contract, even though there were 2 more fights on it. It was supposed to end with a Benavidez fight on May 4th, which may not materialize now as well, from what I understand. I'm not a big boxing guy. Terrence Crawford is also no longer with PBC. His deal was only 1 fight. So that's a bunch for them to lose. On the Theo Vaughn podcast, Israel Adesanya said that he was offered to fight Dracus Duplessis on UFC 300, but DDP wasn't healthy. Can you guys hear that rain? It is fucking loud.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yes. Doesn't bother
Dude,
me.
it is raining so loud here. I have to talk loud. That's all I got on boxing. Jorge wants to fight Justin Gaethje if he wins against Max Holloway. Jorge says that when he won the BMF belt, he was told it was a one-off, and he was not made to feel like he could defend it. And
I'm gonna go
then
look from the garage.
Dana made a comment and I looked it up. He did make a comment before Justin fought Dustin for the BMF belt and said Masvidal retired, so we put the BMF up for grabs. That was to indicate that Masvidal could have defended it, which may or may not have been true, but Jorge is citing that, saying that, he'd like to come back and be able to fight Justin for the BMF after. I don't know if any of that will materialize. I don't really want to make a combo out of it. It's just, it's in the works. A lot of things could happen for Noche, in my opinion. It could be another UFC 300 card where he is just trying to pile on from main event forward. So, what else do I got? Sean O'Malley, we already talked about him. He wants to fight Ilya or he is now open to fighting a very beatable Merab Dvalishvili, is what he called him. We covered John Jones at Bellator. I didn't gray that out. I should have. Tyron Woodley says the UFC can't stop Sean Strickland from sparring Jake Paul, and that he shouldn't have called the UFC to ask for their permission. And that Sneeko was allowed into the Apex or the PI to spar Sean. I think where it comes in is that Jake offered him $1 million. I think that's the problem, and he can't go do it for $1 million. Rhino, what do you got?
Oh, I was just gonna say something about the fucking storm. I was trying to go see if it was hitting me as bad as you were getting hit with all the hail, since we're so close to each other. But it has not hit me yet, so that's all I got there, operator.
Yeah, it's fucking pouring here. So Marab also tapped Sneeko recently. Sneeko's like on a mission to keep getting beat up, but Sneeko is banned from the PI, so they had to meet at an off-site gym. Sean Strickland. So Sean Strickland was recently told he cannot race Nitro Cross. He is out of the league, or I don't know what they call it, the brackets. I don't know exactly how they run Nitro Cross. I do not know. So I I just know it's a racing circuit, and he was supposed to be on it, and they parted ways with him because of who he is socially. I have a short video. I'll try to cut it off early because it goes nearly 2 minutes, and that's actually long to listen to. But here's some of what Sean had to say. He does get angry about who influencers are and says he's not part of the crowd, and that you'll hear it. You'll hear it. So this is posted on several media outlets, including MMA Mania. Sean posted it himself, I believe, to Instagram. You can find this at multiple places posted. That's my disclaimer.
I fucking did it. I violated the influencer trust tree, the circle jerk that I didn't know I was in. You know, no one really gave me like a written invitation to the circle jerk of like, I get famous, you get famous, we all help each other out. I never got the fucking invitation or the guideline, so here we are. But bad news, guys, I'm not racing Nitro Cross. This isn't Nitro Cross is doing, man. They're great fucking people. This goes beyond them. But you know, I guess there's like fucking golden rules of how to be a fucking influencer and get free shit. And I guess I'm not the fucking one for these guys. But you know, I want you guys to put yourselves in my shoes. You know, a man insulted me and challenged me to fight. I fought that man just like you would. A TikToker wants to spar. I treat him no different than anybody else. You quit, you fall down, or you tap out, and we're fucking done. I respect him for that. I made a fucking vampire wearing a man bag with painted nails that was so insulted that I didn't know who the fuck he was. He acted like a woman because I didn't know, nor do I care who he was. Dude, you dress like a fucking vampire wearing a man bag. You are a fucking slight on society, bro. The fact that you exist is fucking mind-boggling. The fact that you exist makes me think we need to go back to 7.
All right, so he goes on for like another minute or so, but he's talking about Machine Gun Kelly. And he's basically saying that he lost his Nitro Circus contract, if it's a contract, or Nitro Cross contract, uh, due to these influencers and the way that he treats them and the way that he interacts with them. My biggest note on all of this is that, do any of you guys know who owns Nitro Cross?
Travis Pastrana?
No, Thrill One Sports and Entertainment owns Nitro Circus, Nitro Cross, and Street League Skateboarding. Do you guys know who owns Thrill One Sports and Entertainment? Dana fucking White. Dana White owns it. He is the
Really?
co-owner. Him and Travis Pastrana, and I believe Dana owns 50-50 or more. He did all that in 2022. He owns Thrill, or part of the majority of Thrill One Sports and Entertainment, and they own their properties are Nitro Circus, Nitro Cross, and Street League Skateboarding. And I'm pretty sure that they own Power Slap. I don't know if that is
He's right.
absolutely official, but all of the people that are affiliated with those brands are all of the celebrities and influencers that are filling up the Power Slap events. So do with that information, I guess, whatever you will. I don't know what it's worth, but I think that it's funny that Dana White, who is very opinionated one way, seems to be canceling Sean Strickland for just being whoever the fuck he is. I don't know. I'm not endorsing or condoning Sean. I'm just saying Dana White and all of his rhetoric and all of his bullshit, it seems funny that he would let Sean Strickland get canceled. Yeah, just my take on that. Daniel, what do you got?
It is a big deal because Nitro Circus is connected to Jackass, Wild Boys, all the guys from that era. What's his name? Jeff, whatever his name is. So you damn right, he's getting money from Race Car. He's getting money from the UFC and now Jackass because Nitro Circus is connected with Jackass.
No. Johnny Knoxville owns Jackass. He's made $250 million off of it. He owns it outright. Nitro Circus does not own any part of Jackass.
No, I said it's Jackass is over Nitro Circus. It's part of it.
What do you mean?
Like, if I can remember the damn name, the man's name, I can't remember his name. Jeff.
Well, look it up and then put your hand up and let me know.
Sure, thanks.
So I said Jorge wants to fight Justin. I'm not graying all of these out fast enough. Okay, I'm narrowing it down to the last couple little things here. So Mike Perry, listen, I'm going to speed through the last few pressure points, just things I want everybody to hear so that I can play. Mike Perry recently had a fucking meltdown. I think it is rooted in things that are deeper than what he's saying. I think that the Overdogs podcast is having a hard time getting press passes, and they didn't put him over. And I think that Mike has recently flirted with the idea of being able to fight in the UFC again. And he made a call on air to Hunter Campbell that did not go well for him. I think Mike is a little bitter at the UFC right now. I feel like he thought he had a good relationship with them, and now they are not reciprocating to him. Not that he's doing anything for them other than, but he does speak good about them in sight of all of it. What seems to set him off is when they mention how the UFC feels about Marab not wanting to fight his friend Eljo. And Mike fucking loses it. So this is on the Overdogs podcast. It has been reposted on several news sites, including Punch News and Perry Punch News. You can find it in several places. But I credit the Overdogs podcast for it, and you should go look the Overdogs podcast up, and you should follow them, and you should watch their content. They're a great place.
Put him on a pedestal because he was doing the right thing and he won't fight his friend. But this guy over here is doing the same fucking thing we're going to be mad at because why? They fucking pick and choose whoever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want. They do whatever the fuck they want and no one can tell them anything about it. But that's where it's fucking annoying and I lose interest. Mm-hmm. It's funny because they make everybody look the same now and they want to be fucking NFL, NBA of combat sports, but they don't fucking act like it. They're still fucking rude, disrespectful, rich assholes who don't give a fuck about these fighters or anyone who fucking puts their life on the line to do this shit. But then they'll turn around and say, oh, God bless him, he's putting his life on the line. These fucking fighters, they'll stand up against the media and they'll be like, you know what these fucking fighters go through. But at the same time, they're the ones fucking trying to make them kill themselves for this shit. And then they get, wherever their fucking head's at, it's like a whim. Like, the first thing that comes to their fucking head, if he's pissed in that moment, he's like, I don't give a fuck. How about that? I don't give a fucking fuck. How about that? It's fucking childish. The richest fucking guy, most popular, most famous fucking guy of all time is childish.
So Mike spins.
Owners and shit.
Mike spins for another minute and a half. Well, another minute 20, and yeah, he just his partner says, "I don't think you're helping our media passes right now," and Mike like apologizes and shit, but man, he fucking spun on that one. A couple weeks ago he was calling Hunter Campbell on air like, "Hey, we're buddies." So fucking weird. Rhino.
Dude, that's some crazy shit, man. That's a guy that doesn't understand markets or economy or anything like that. Just that's drunken sailor talk.
I was about to say,
for
I don't even know what the
somebody to
fuck
act
he
like
said,
that.
bro. Every other word out of his mouth was the F word.
Yeah, and that's
Well,
how you
he's
can
trying to
tell he
talk
was
about
spiraling.
fighter pay.
That off rip
Well,
is
he's
how
trying
you
to
can
talk
tell,
about
bro.
fighter pay, and he's trying to say that like they should get what is like this imaginary number, which is like what you should be paid to fight. And everybody's story is different, and everybody's scenario is different, and how you get to that area of promotions and how much they can pay you and bitching about the staff. Well, the staff are just giving you the numbers that they calculated to make it more beneficiary towards the other investors, because all you're trying to do in a financial market of the business of combat sports and promotions is you have to sell so much to make a profit. Of course, because like no one's going to put on your show if they don't have a reason to put on your show, dude. They want to make some money too. So if they're going to put all the work in, they have to calculate it. And if they can only offer you, 20 grand or $5,000, that's what they're going to offer you. And you say like, well, I need more money. They're going to say, I don't give a shit, because I have this budget to hit because that's the promotion that we ran. So
Yeah,
you can't explain that. Why you complain about it is all I'm trying to say.
he knows. He's just fucking spiraling. Daniel, I'm running out
Yeah.
of time. Very,
The
very
storm
quick.
is here now. The
Very
storm is here now.
No, I
enjoy.
withdraw. I
I'm
withdraw.
running out of time quickly. What do you got
No,
on this one, Daniel?
pass. Pass.
Okay. All right. So that kills all the hot topics, all the headlines, all the news. I got a few pressure points. These are things that I feel affect MMA as a whole on a much bigger level than just a single promotion. So I found the recording on it. The PFL has extended their global reach with the launch of PFL MENA, MENA, Middle East, North Africa, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Professional Fight League, the fastest, and the Professional Fast, the the Professional Fight League, the fastest growing and most innovative sports league in the world, announced the launch of PFL MENA, the promotion's second International League, which will debut April 2024. PFL MENA will introduce a thrilling four-fight sports season format featuring the region's top fighters and a groundbreaking innovative with God damn it, I'm not a good breeder, guys. I'm sorry. With the groundbreaking innovative SJR Sports Investments Fund. I believe that's the Saudi Arabia fund. A full roster of the league will be revealed in March. PFL MENA is a milestone in the PFL's expansion strategy and will accelerate the presence of MENA in the region. So this is the PFL trying to own the minor leagues so that they can own the major leagues. What the PFL's plan is to build a bunch of minor leagues, sell half of the value of those leagues off in stock to investors so that there's people in those regions and people in those areas who are invested in promoting for them so that they don't have to do that work, so that they can create teams and chains of people over there and celebrities and people that are involved, like Francis Ngannou, to promote this for them while they own half. In return, all of these fighters are just fighting for a chance to fight at the PFL World Championship Series, which is them and them exclusively. They own all of that. So now all of the fighters that you get to try to help us build up, when they leave, they now come over here and fight for just us. Probably on pay-per-view. This is literally what I have been saying. The PFL is trying to they're trying to build a monopoly out of the gate. That is their plan. It is what it is, and that's what they're doing. So now we will have the PFL Europe this year, the PFL MENA this year, the PFL USA this year, the Bellator Grand Prix this year, and then they will all compete at the PFL World Championship if all goes as planned. Except people can't always make the dates. People get injured, fighters get replaced, and the league season just doesn't work for those reasons. If you're going to build a league, it has to work on meritocracy, in my opinion. That's where I start to get like, if you're going to have this, it's like a tournament. I hate when a guy pulls out of a tournament and they let the guy he beat step in his place. What the fuck is that? He beat that guy. Tournament's got to wait. Them's the knocks. Whatever. That's my rant about it. Usman, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you're trying to build a presence with this MENA thing, obviously you're gonna have to have a whole roster of fighters from that area. You would think that you'd have to pay a good amount of money for at least the top talented ones to make a commitment to fight their PFL instead of going to the UFC or going into these other regionals to build their name to go to the UFC. Um, how much do you think these fuckers are getting paid? Because for one, it's not cheap to make all these leagues. It's not cheap to start production and have fights being viewed all over the place. Like any top tier talent that would be coming out of the MENA area is not going to take the 2,000 and 2,000, 5,000 and 5,000 fucking contract to fight in a shitty tournament where, like you
No,
said,
but the
you could get
fighters that
hurt.
are coming out of North Africa likely will.
Like I said, the top tier talent though.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. But I'll be honest, they probably still pay him dog shit. However, this is the where Francis is supposed to have some say, and this is where investors have bought in. So, I mean, I guess there's a fair chance that MENA is the league where you can get more money out of them. Um, yeah, I guess. I can't confirm that, but that would make sense what you're saying. But there's no way it's more than 20 and 20, Usman. Like, there's no fucking way.
Oh, 20 and 20 is what the championships are going to be worth. Like, you're going to be lucky to be getting 20 to 20 to getting into that $1 million fight at the end.
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I just don't see how the spending of PFL in one is going to somehow translate into success. I'm posting a bunch of tweets in the comments, just things I'm talking about right now. Uh, Maybe some stuff I've missed. So if you see anything that's not pinned and you want to pin it, have at it. I don't know. If I missed anything, I think I got everything except for this last one here. So,
Yo,
anyways,
real quick.
yeah,
Everybody's got the thumbs up and thumbs down emoji. Thumbs up is obviously over. Thumbs down is under. PFL versus Bellator. 65,000 pay-per-view sold.
no way they sold 65,000 pay per views, bro.
That's a lot of unders. I was trying to be generous with 65. I wanted to open up with 45.
I think 35 or 25 is probably what I would guess. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Ask Don the Con; he'll tell us the truth. Um. Anyways, so I seen something written that 5 fighters pulled their names from the UFC lawsuit. I cannot confirm that this is. I cannot confirm this, but someone typed it, and they also typed that Cowboy Cerrone is one of them, and that he was going to testify on the UFC's behalf um, in the lawsuits. So, lawsuit updates. And I'm not the only one. I think we all concurred that this would have to come to a settlement. So, it's supposed to go to court on April 15th. But now the UFC or TKO or whoever's paying the bill and the 1,200 fighters have agreed to engage in private mediation to try to come to an agreement. And I did say this before. It's still speculated that it will be close to $1 billion, which is not the 1.6 billion. Plus, it saves them the quote unquote legal fees. Um, we've talked about it. We've seen the UFC sees the writing on the wall. Every league that becomes $1 billion entity at some point has to go back and give money to the guys who helped them build it all. Wilt Chamberlain, all the guys in the NBA, the NFL, every league has had to do it. And it has cost all of them tremendously. So I think the fact that they were going to have to cut a deal, writing was on the wall that that was going to come one day. But in my opinion, my notes on this is that it is about maybe saving some money, but I don't think it's as much about that as preventing the government from getting involved and regulating them. If the judge has to make a ruling, they are now regulated by the government, which makes room for more regulation from the federal government into their sport, which pushes them closer to the Ali Act by being able to negotiate directly. And I'm not being a dick, but let's be honest, with 1,200 dudes they already got over on, um, they know they can get out of it as cheap as humanly possible, and they can keep the government from regulating it. I think that is what's more importantly in play. People forget that there are still politicians trying to get the Ali Act modified and enforced on MMA. And I am sure places like PFL, Don Davis sends them hundreds of thousands of dollars in lobbying every year for this because making it so that fighters can fight anywhere he would think would benefit him. Uh, but there's a good chance that this lawsuit settles inside of 2024, and we don't ever have to hear about it again. So there's a lot of fight. There's a lot. I posted a tweet in the comments. You can look at. Let me get back over to my page here. By Kareem Zita. Uh, it is a link to an article which basically explains that Chimaev and Ramzan Kadyrov have maintained their friendship even though he has moved out of Chechnya, um, and that his relationship got him flagged by the UFC or the United States government, and that is why the UFC cannot get him in the country to fight. It is because of his relationship with the dictator. We have talked in depth about what this means to the sport around here and what it could mean and the things that it does and the pressures it can put on fighters. So now that I've just touched on all that, that is enough. The UFC cut the ribbon at the UFC Mexico PI on Thursday. It is supposed to open April 18th. It is the third PI that they have opened. It was Vegas, then China, and now Mexico. Dana says it is the most state of the art PI yet, which I believe because it's the newest, and I've seen all the little video tours and video clips that people have taken that I can find, and it's pretty badass in there. So the other thing that I believe is that the drug laws are different down there, which we talked about last week, but so are the medicine laws. So I believe that having a PI so close to Vegas will allow the UFC to maybe send athletes down to Mexico to get stem cell treatment, which saves them a lot of money because they fly people all around the world for that. Dana posted saying, this has been a dream of mine, a goal of mine, a dream and a goal of mine since 2001 to finally be here and walk the halls of at UFC Performance Institute in Mexico is a monumental moment in the history for our sport. The impact is factual. The impact this facility will have on Mexico as well as both Central and South America will be massive. I agree with him. I think the PIs do huge things. I can't wait till the UFC has 20 of them or fucking however many of them they're going to put up. My I have a I have a feeling about Mexico being a lead for a new market dependent. So I'll lead right into my other one, which is the UFC moved International Fight Week to the last week of June. This is the first time in 12 years that it was not 4th of July week, meaning that the targeted weekend was right after 4th of July. Sometimes the card even fell on 4th of July. And that's when International Fight Week happened. It is a peak time in Vegas. It was a good time for them to be able to build that there. And despite all that, the Independence Day thing has slowly fizzled out for them. You feel less and less of them talking about the military and all that stuff during these cards, and it just seems to be about International Fight Week. It doesn't have to be Independence Day weekend. What is significant about them moving it to June is that they moved it to the end of the second quarter. And now Noche, which is a pay-per-view, is expected to be a massive deal. I wouldn't be surprised if Noche is in Mexico next year, or South America next year, Central America somewhere next year. And if it doesn't have a 1 week lead up like International Fight Week does, we also seen them do this. They do this in Abu Dhabi with Abu Dhabi Showdown Week, which is basically an International Fight Week, meet and greet sessions, UFC themed activations, the fan experience, UFC stars. Like, it's the same thing. So I've been saying this, and eventually you guys are going to hear everybody saying it, but I have been on this for months. This is something I feel strongly about, and I feel like everybody will see it soon enough. The UFC wants to move to 16 pay-per-views a year eventually. They haven't come out and said it, but they want to get out 4 per quarter. That is clearly what they're going towards. 7 per 6 months is already there. And I thought they were going to try to slip in 8 in the first half of this year. I think it lines up where they could, but instead they're going to do a fight night in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh. So otherwise, I think they could. But my point is, what the UFC's, I think the model shift that we're going to see over the next 2 to 5 years is that each quarter has a massive event, um, fan experience where it's the event is bigger than the names or the cards. They're going to promote these events. So now we will have our monthly pay-per-view card. On top of that, we will have a quarterly event, which will push us to 16 pay-per-views a year, in my opinion. I think it's coming. I think it's unavoidable. Maybe for now, they'll start just building them into the current pay-per-view structure and then slowly move them out. But I just see this as a way for them to do that. Yeah, I feel like I've been calling it for a while, the 16 pay-per-view thing, and it's just all starting to add up, in my opinion. Maybe one day you guys will look back and go, Joe called that shit. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy and a little bit of library. Last thing I got is over 300 athletes have been tested by DFSI, Drug Free Sports International. Several fighters have been tested twice. 299 fighters have been tested once. And one fighter surpasses the 2-test marker, making them the most tested fighter in the UFC in 2024. I won't leave it up for big debate, but does anybody want to throw a name out there who they think it is? Fuck you guys. It's Conor McGregor. He is the most tested athlete in the UFC in 2024. Yeah, I don't know how significant that is, but I just thought it was a good way to close the space. That's all I got. I'm done. I went 16 minutes over the over. Yeah, I'm probably just going to cut the fucking review back out next week unless something changes with the timing. CapMMA.com. Sundays, Rhino and Usman do the Cash or Trash review. Man, I can't believe I closed it and didn't fucking save it. 10 p.m. It's a pretty good show, if I do say so myself. I enjoy listening to it. I missed it this week, but you can't make them all, right? We will not have a breakdown show this week. We will figure something out by next week, and we will bring something. But Trace is no longer able to host. And putting together a breakdown show is not just name the fights off. We like to make sure somebody has an actual take that took some effort and was put in. And Trace was kind of that lead guy. Maybe we'll get something back together where a few guys break down fights or something, so that we can get something going. But we do not have a Fight Week Friday show this week. So for now, that's all I got. Sundays will be after the card. And Andrew, fuck, we're 47 minutes over here, brother. So whatever you want to say is fine, and then you can just close it out without even going back to me, man.
Nope, I got nothing. I appreciate you guys coming out. We'll see you next time.